JustinFREAKIN is a formidable voice in the culture.
Hey Justin, are you trolling?
Come on, man.
Wash your ass.
This is the Troll live with JustinFREAKIN.
I agree that mattress commercial. Oh fuck, I'm really hot, aren't I? I agree that mattress commercial is really funny. But what will also never not be funny is my special 9/11 opening. Warlord, Curiouser, Snappa, your mom lays on this. Ha ha! Clinically. Good evening, welcome. Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. It's a freaking 9/11. 7 heavy steel. Mitochondria, good evening. I'm tickled. I'm tore up. And also I'm a little high. Good evening, welcome. We've got a jam-packed night of news ahead of us. So I'm gonna like run it down just really fucking fast because I got so much shit to talk about. So much shit to talk about. It is 9/11. You will get your mattress ad, Warlord. You'll also get poorly aged 90s commercials. Some of them related to 9/11. Some of them are poorly aged because they involve the World Trade Center. We're going to talk about bands that released albums on 9/11. Apparently Slayer picked a really shitty day to drop a new album. It's been 23 years since 9/11, and Harris and Trump shook hands 2 days in a row. Last night at the debate and today at the 9/11 memorial event, where apparently Trump brought 9/11 truther Laura Loomer. And he rightfully got yelled at by people that were there. Biden apparently endorsing Trump. This is a wild development in the presidential race. When I first saw the picture, I thought it was bad Photoshop. It's a real picture. Here on this 23rd anniversary of 9/11, we are going to give you an update on the manhunt for Osama bin Laden. CBS News dropping new details on the hunt for Osama bin Laden. I thought he had been dead for like 13 years. Apparently not. So, manhunt underway. 23 years on from a successful terrorist attack on New York City, another terror attack on New York City was foiled, according to the DOJ. A Pakistani man was arrested in Canada, wanting to carry out a terror attack on this holy day of 9/11. I've been avoiding talking about this story because I wanted to give it the care and justice that it needed. New details have come out, so I'm kind of glad I waited. A American citizen was murdered by the IDF. The IDF says they didn't do it. We now have eyewitness and video documentation that, the IDF says they did it, but they didn't mean to intentionally kill her. But we now have evidence to the contrary. We kind of think they intentionally killed her. And she is an American citizen. The State Department asked what they're going to do about it earlier this week. Anthony Blinken put on the spot. We'll get into all of that. Plus, Israeli journalists Israeli journalists are calling on the state of Israel to let foreign journalists into Gaza because, hey, what you got to cover up? And Senator Chris Murphy comes out and says, Netanyahu, he's the problem. It's him. He's the problem. All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Good evening, Tommy. I never call you Tommy. Why'd I call you Tommy? Tommy boy. Good evening, Oregon gal, Minty. Sick and Nuck. You're waiting on a Scott Steiner endorsement. Well, a Scott Steiner endorsement might sound a little something like this.
You take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
The UN also pissed. Their staff members keep getting killed in Gaza. UN demanding answers about that little ditty. Anonymously. Snappa, good evening, everyone. Welcome in. Holiday. Shit, a bunch of you snuck in on me while I was reading that. 7 Heavy Steel. We're totally going to play some Final Fantasy together. I was stoked to see you playing it earlier. I think I dropped in on you playing it, and I don't think I said anything that day. I was like, oh shit, this mofo playing some Final Fantasy. We gonna be friends? Meat Cakes, good evening. Just in time for a little ditty I like to call Boulevard of Melted Beams. As I said, we got a lot of news to get into. I didn't even cover everything we're going to talk about. I don't think I even went to into the crime stories or anything. So we got all kinds of shit. Let's get to it. It has been 23 years since 9/11. Yada, yada, yada. Never forget. Somber day.
23 years since the terrorist attacks on September 11th. And for the families, not a day goes by without thinking of the loved ones who lost their lives that day.
High enough for this shit.
Forever that day. We look at the world differently.
Nearly 3,000 people were killed when al-Qaeda terrorists hijacked airplanes, crashing into the World Trade Center in New York City, the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and crashing in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. In Shanksville, a remembrance ceremony honoring the heroes of United Flight 93. The 33 passengers and 7 crew members on that flight fighting back against terrorists, forcing the plane to crash into this field, preventing it from reaching its intended target, a federal government building in D.C.
Their decision to fight back against the terrorists who had hijacked their plane demonstrates the power of individuals to come together in a time of crisis to make a monumental difference.
This year's commemoration coming during an intense presidential campaign. But today, politics were put aside. President Biden, Vice President Harris, former President Trump, and Senator J.D. Vance starting their day off in New York City at Ground Zero, listening for the annual reading of the names.
If I come here and I speak his name out loud and you hear his name, he will never, never disappear.
And standing in that field in Pennsylvania more than 20 years after Flight 93 went down, not far behind me, the families of those who lost their lives that day say every single day that goes by, it doesn't mean that they'll ever forget their memory or that this...
I love that they cut him off. This is a live look at the tribute in New York City. See the two towers represented by the beams of light shooting up. They mentioned the interaction between Harris, Trump, J.D. Vance earlier today. I have the whole shebang, if you'd like to watch it, captured by C-SPAN cameras. Michael Bloomberg also there, Joe Biden in attendance, Chucky Schumer. Okay, so like we just picked it up here, but it really looks like this is Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York City. He it looks like he is grabbing Harris, who was talking with Chucky Boy Schumer. Joe Biden over here doesn't even know where he is. Did Trump request that Bloomberg get Harris to come over and shake his hand? Because if you'll remember last night, she came over to shake his hand. That was one of the first things that threw him off his game. Like, he wasn't expecting her to come over and shake his hand. She was very cordial, and he was very off-putting the whole time. So I feel like this is trying to, like, make up for it. Perhaps. Hey, Bloomy boy, get her to come over here and shake my hand. He had the concept of a debate last night. Like his concept of a healthcare plan. I mean, it was a smart move on her part last night to go over, like, throw him off. It's wild seeing all of them standing there together. Joe, I look forward to you riding off into the sunset. Go enjoy your retirement, you old fuck. Once again, I feel like even if we are rid of Trump after this election, I don't think we're rid of him in the public sphere. I honestly believe that he will be the presumptive 2028 Republican nominee If he does not win this time, he will continue to have a stranglehold on the Republican Party. And I think that's fucking sad. Because tell me who else is going to take over. Trump should also go to bed. Somebody should put him to bed. Somebody should take him out behind the barn and put him down. Shit, I better I'll get a knock on the door from the Secret Service. I did not mean that, federal agent that watches my show. Donald Trump brought a 9/11 conspiracy theorist to a 9/11 memorial event. Laura fucking Loomer. At a somber memorial event held Wednesday at Engine Company 4, 8 billion losers on Earth. Welcome in. Thank you for being a freaking follower. At a somber memorial event held Wednesday at Engine Company 4, Ladder Company 15 Fire Station in Lower Manhattan, former President Donald Trump appeared to bring a special guest, 9/11 conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer. The appearance of Loomer, a far-right social media shitposter with a long record of bigotry, follows her travel with Trump to Tuesday's presidential debate between the former president and Vice President Kamala Harris. But her attendance at a 9/11 remembrance event proved especially shocking. Last year, Loomer shared a video to Twitter that claimed the infamous terror attack was just an inside job. Well, if it's a video, we gotta watch it. Watch. Well, I thought you were going to hit me with something.
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
Well, that is fishy.
3 trillion with a T.
But now the one thing I will say about that is that it's not like the Pentagon just came out and said we're missing $2.3 trillion the day before 9/11 that one time. Like, if the Pentagon hasn't repeatedly come out and said that they'd lost trillions of dollars during the time I've been paying attention to politics, and long before that video, then I might find it kind of suspicious. But here's the thing, is the Pentagon is constantly coming out and saying, hey, we lost 1.7, 2.8, 3.9. They're constantly coming out and saying they lost money. So, Crystal Cat, good evening. The 2 trillion was never brought up again because they lost another fucking 8 trillion in Iraq over the next fucking 10 years. Duh. The conspiracy is wild to me because, they didn't destroy the Pentagon because they lost $2.3 trillion. It's not suspicious that the Pentagon came out and said they lost $2.3 trillion because they've done it repeatedly over and over and over again since then. I'm not laughing that they're losing all that money. They shouldn't. I think a lot of our military contracting is nothing but a money laundering scheme. But that's no fucking conspiracy theory. Trump at a 9/11 event. I don't know if this was in. He was at all three sites today. There were three sites. Was there an event in D.C. something like? There's at 3 different sites. I believe this was still in New York. He gets yelled at during the event.
Where were you for 20 years? I've been here. Where were you?
To be fair, he was in Lower Manhattan that day. But then, on the day, he was indeed on TV bragging about how he now had the tallest building in New York. That is indeed true. There's so much lore with Donald Trump regarding 9/11. It's hard to get into everything. But apparently, following a rocking debate performance by Harris last night, Harris's president that she serves under has actually come out and endorsed Donald Trump.
Come on, man.
Well, not so much endorse him, but at an event earlier today, he said that we need unity. Biden donned a Trump hat in Shanksville as a show of 9/11 unity, is what the White House is saying. President Joe Biden briefly donned a red Trump 2024 hat during a visit to Shanksville, Pennsylvania fire station in what the White House described as a gesture of unity on the anniversary of the September 11th attacks. At the Shanksville fire station, POTUS spoke about the country's bipartisan unity after 9/11 and said we needed to get back to that. The White House Senior Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates posted on social media. Bates said Biden gave a hat to a Trump supporter in the crowd as a friendly gesture. The supporter then asked Biden to put on a Trump cap in the name of bipartisanship, and the president went along briefly wearing the red hat. As a gesture, he gave the hat to a Trump supporter who then suggested that in the same spirit, POTUS should wear the cap. He briefly put it on. Biden, who was in Shanksville, the rural area where United Airlines Flight 93 crashed into a field 23 years ago, wore the hat during a private meeting with community members and then took a picture with a group of children. The photo of the moment quickly went viral, especially among Republicans, because they have a lot of Trump gear on. Probably shouldn't be photographed with your vice president's opponent's hat on. But also, I'm indifferent to it. I don't know. Like, it may ingratiate him to Trump supporters somewhat, especially those there. The people that met him probably came away thinking he's a real nice guy and not the terror that they have been sold by Fox News. So, I mean, in terms of retail politics, it's probably a good thing. I also kind of look at it as Biden probably doesn't give a fuck anymore. He wasn't even thinking about the politics of it because he doesn't give a fuck about the politics of it. It doesn't do anything for Trump, but it animates the Trump trolls. That's about all it does. It gave some fodder for Twitter. 23 years on. And when was the assassination of Osama bin Laden? Was that about 2011? Is that when we captured him and buried him at sea? We're about 13 years on from the capture of Osama bin Laden. Apparently we have new information on the hunt for bin Laden. So buckle up, buckaroos. We got a manhunt underway for a guy that we have thought has been dead for over a decade.
After the deadly attacks on September 11th, 2001, the U.S. began its search for Osama bin Laden, who assisted in planning the attacks that killed nearly 3,000 Americans. Experts at the National Security Agency worked alongside multiple agencies to track him down, eventually leading to his death in 2011. In the first episode of the agency's new podcast, the No Such Podcast.
Wait, what?
Learn how some of the nation's best.
I got duped. This wasn't a book plug. It was a podcast plug. National Security Agency shares new details on the hunt for Osama bin Laden, apparently that took place between 2001 and 2011.
And brightest used foreign signals intelligence to help find and eliminate the terrorist leader. John Darby was a part of that mission to find bin Laden. He is the former director of operations for the National Security Agency, and he was also the NSA chief of counterterrorism during.
Yeah, they're just naked about it now, Flash.
Thank you so much for joining us. And you know, I think the podcast is really a brilliant idea.
Is she wearing a potato sack?
With details of how the NSA helped find bin Laden through something called Foreign Signals Intelligence, or SIGINT. SIGINT. I don't know if I said it properly. Can you give us a brief overview of what this is, and just tell us how it was used to help find bin Laden?
Okay, so SIGINT breaks out to signals intelligence.
When you got to deliver the news at 6, but then save Zelda at 8.
How it was used to help find bin Laden.
Okay, so SIGINT breaks out to signals intelligence, meaning intelligence derived from signals. So, and by signal,
yeah, the concept of
it's foreign electronic communications. Think emails, phones, radars, missiles, and the like. Now, it takes several steps to derive intelligence from signals, starting with the requirement that comes down from, like, the president or the White House. In this case, the requirement was find bin Laden. And then we have to collect data. NSA has a variety of sensors arrayed around the world to include, but not limited to, antennas, sometimes in dangerous places, collect
like up your ass
warrants signed off by the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. We hack into foreign networks.
Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary folk, if you are going to stick a antenna up your ass, you should really wash it first.
Life is too short to walk this earth or across the asshole. Wash your ass.
Networks. So those are some of the types of sensors that we use to collect data.
Yeah. I've seen the movie. It was a fake vaccination drive. What was the movie? Was it Zero Dark? No, that was something else, wasn't it? What was the movie about? Yeah, there's a movie about the raid. It's actually really good, too.
Process that data. May require some technical processing, may require breaking some codes, may require...
There's probably a lot of propaganda, but it's a good movie.
...into English. And then it comes to the analysis, and it's very complex even to...
Oh, that is the name of it?
...point.
Debbie Does Dallas.
The analytic process is complex as well. The analogy I like to use is it's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle that's different from any jigsaw puzzle that most of us are familiar with. In this case, you may have a few pieces of data or puzzle pieces there on your desk in front of you, but there may be hundreds of pieces scattered around the world. And you've got to find as many of those pieces as you can and put them together to answer the requirement where it's been.
You got to wash the ass. You got to lube the antenna. This dude is boring me. I got no fucking idea what he's talking about. If you're trying to sell me on his podcast, nope. I hope he paid you for that. Not going to be listening to that one, folks. Mistakes were made. Lube the ass and wash the antenna. I condemn that kind of action.
He condemn.
Yeah, I feel like I really enjoy. I feel like, remember, I don't remember shit about movies years after I watch. Like, you know, it's been quite a few years since I've watched it, but I think I remember telling Sparkles about it, and I think I was like, this is propaganda, but this was really good. You got to keep things in context. On this, the 25th anniversary of our holy holiday, 9/11. A man plotted a terrorist attack, was arrested last week. He was apparently aiming for October 7th in New York City.
And you are taking a live look over New York City at this hour. Want to go over all of the details that we know about this, as a man has been arrested in Canada in connection with a plot to carry out a mass shooting at a Jewish center in Brooklyn on the first anniversary of the October 7th attack by Hamas on Israel. And the information did come in from the...
Oh, wait a minute. Is this the same story I've got all kinds of details on him?
Justice.
Or is this a different guy?
Jay identifying the suspect as a 21-year-old man. He is Muhammad Shahzeb Khan, also known as Shahzeb Jadoon. He's charged with attempting to provide material support to the ISIS terror group and was arrested while attempting to cross the Canadian border into the U.S.
So Shahzeb Jadoon.
He told undercover law enforcement that he and another ISIS supporter based in the U.S. needed to obtain AR-style rifles, ammo, and other weapons, saying New York City was the, quote, perfect target because of its large Jewish population. He's accused of saying the plan could result in, quote, the largest attack on U.S. soil since 9/11. Do want to discuss all of this here, so let's bring in an expert. Mike Harrigan was the chief of the FBI's firearms training program.
Yeah, we don't want to hear from him because I think this might be the same story. These were two different stories. This was headlines out of Canada, but this could be another man. Because that what I just played you was, oh, this is also from 4 days ago. Okay, this is the same story. Shelley, good evening.
On Wednesday afternoon, police descended on Ormstown, Quebec, a quiet town just 20 kilometers from the U.S. border.
Right here. They stopped the car, they blocked it in, and then...
Love her shirt.
And then they stopped it here, and they threw in the flash grenade.
Local residents photographed the arrests involving dozens of heavily armed officers.
They had a woman that was handcuffed on the front porch, and then they had a gentleman sitting on our front lawn, handcuffed behind him.
A criminal complaint filed by the U.S. Justice Department says 20-year-old Pakistani national Muhammad Shahzeb Khan had been under surveillance for at least 9 months. He allegedly traveled from Toronto through Montreal on Wednesday, using 3 different cars, intending to cross the U.S. border with the help of a smuggler, who was to be paid in cash. Khan was allegedly motivated by ISIS, targeting a Jewish center in Brooklyn, New York, associated with the Hasidic community. The attack apparently planned for October 7th, the anniversary of the brutal Hamas assault on Israel. Prosecutors say he told his co-conspirators in the U.S. to acquire rifles, ammo, and tactical gear, as well as some good hunting knives so we can slit their throats, and bragged, if we succeed with our plan, this would be the largest attack on U.S. soil since 9/11.
God dang.
Co-conspirators were actually FBI undercover agents.
Once we uncovered this threat, we worked with our partners in Canada to arrest Khan before he could carry out his deadly plot.
Counter-terror experts say not everyone who comes under surveillance for online activity puts their ideas into action.
So I believe this was one of those situations where the FBI, in collaboration with the RCMP, were monitoring the activities of this individual and waiting for an opportunity to see that it was more than just online chatter.
ISIS lost its stronghold in Iraq and Syria in 2017. But the group still recruits online, and last month staged an attack in Germany.
They're going for these horrific one-offs with younger people, and there's less chance for them to be scrutinized because they just don't have as much life experience.
And Evan, it's still not clear exactly how Khan ended up in Canada.
No, we still don't know what kind of visa he came in on, but this is the second recent instance where individuals loyal to the Islamic State have been able to come into Canada. Just back in July, we saw the arrest of the Al-Didis, father and son, who were in the late stages of an attack in Toronto. Both also had pledged allegiance to ISIS, and both had defeated the Canadian screening system, and Al-Didi Sr. had actually become a Canadian citizen. So this is likely to raise some questions about the screening of people coming into Canada, and it might raise political questions south of the border also about whether Canada is doing enough to prevent becoming a backdoor for jihadists who want to get into the United States.
Evan Dyer in Ottawa tonight.
The jihadists want to come in the back door. Yes, show us your ditties so I can give them a ditty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
What is wrong with me? Backdoor jihadist sounds like a name for a punk band. wanted to carry out the attack in retaliation for, I guess, Israel's behavior following October 7th, because I can kind of sympathize with it. Israel out here acting all out of pocket, as the kids say. And that's an understatement. New video witnesses challenge Israel's account of U.S. activists killing. The IDF says, I have not heard anybody's coverage of this, so I'm going to butcher her name. So my apologies. Senor Iggy? Fuck, I should have like fucking listened to a news story before I fucking did this. Was shot unintentionally, that's according to the IDF, during a violent riot. This is the Washington Post actually doing some good journalism here. A Washington Post analysis shows clashes had subsided and protesters had retreated. This is a picture of the young lady murdered by the IDF.
Ayşenur Ezgi.
Ayşenur Ezgi. Gave it my best effort. It was Ayşenur Ezgi's first time in the West Bank demonstration, and she was nervous. The 26-year-old Turkish American told fellow activists she hoped, by the way, no Hamas in the West Bank. 26-year-old Turkish American told fellow activists she hoped to be a protective presence for Palestinians at a time of spiraling violence across the Israeli-occupied territory. We had both decided we did not want to be near any action at all, said Helen, a volunteer from Australia in her early 60s, who was with Ezgi throughout the day. Ezgi's caution did not protect her. She was fatally shot in the head on Friday in the village of Biita, near Nablus, following brief clashes after Friday prayers. The Israeli Defense Forces said on Tuesday it was very likely that she had been hit unintentionally by one of its soldiers. The incident took place during a violent riot, the statement said, and the fire was aimed at the key instigator. But a Washington Post investigation has found that Ezgi was shot more than a half hour after the height of confrontations in Biita, and some 20 minutes after protesters had moved down the main road, more than 200 yards away from where Israeli forces were. A Palestinian teenager who witnesses say was standing about 20 yards from Ezgi was wounded by Israeli fire. The IDF would not say if he was a target. Citing an ongoing investigation, the IDF also declined to answer questions from the Post about why its forces fired toward the demonstrators so long after they had retreated and from a distance where they posed no apparent threat. To reconstruct the day's events, the Post spoke to 13 eyewitnesses and Biita residents who reviewed more than 50 videos and photos provided exclusively by the International Solidarity Movement, the organization Ezgi was volunteering with, and FAZ 3A, another Palestinian advocacy group. Some foreign activists spoke on the condition they be identified by their first name or on the condition of anonymity for fear of Israeli reprisals, including being barred from re-entering the country. That is fascist. On Wednesday, President Joe Biden called Ezgi's death totally unacceptable, adding that Israel's preliminary investigation has indicated that it was the result of a tragic error resulting from an unnecessary escalation. On Tuesday, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken called on Israeli security forces to make fundamental changes. We're going to hear his statement here in a second. The military's rule of engagement in the West Bank are confidential, but Israeli rights groups have tried for years to shed light on them. Joel Carmel, and the advocacy director of Breaking the Silence, an organization of IDF veterans that collects extensive testimony. So these motherfuckers served. They collect extensive testimony from current and former troops, said soldiers and junior commanders were given broad latitude to open fire, including based on speculation about future threats. posed by alleged suspects. During some protests, testifiers have said that the shot to the legs of central instigators are deemed acceptable to deter other demonstrators. Since 2021, the IDF has killed 15 Palestinians during demonstrations in Beita, according to FAZ 3A and Hisham Dwakat, a local resident and member of the Palestinian National Council. Last month, another American citizen, Daniel Santiago, a 32-year-old teacher from New Jersey, was shot in the thigh by Israeli forces in the same olive grove where Iggy was killed. The IDF said Santiago was accidentally injured when soldiers fired live rounds in the air to disperse protesters. Violence has been surging in the West Bank since October 7th. At least 634 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces over that period, according to the United Nations, whose figures do not distinguish between combatants and civilians. I'm assuming that means 634 Palestinians in the West Bank. That can't be anywhere near the number of Gazans. We know that to be false. The majority have died in escalating military raids on Palestinian refugee camps where militants hold sway. Others have been killed by extremist settlers or in regular confrontations with soldiers like in places like Beita. It happens every week. Tear gas and live ammunition, Santiago said. It could have been me. If it could have been others too. On Friday morning, activists said Iggy and 4 other volunteers hired a taxi in Ramallah, the de facto Palestinian capital in the West Bank, and drove about 30 miles north to Beita, a familiar flashpoint. Palestinians there have been battling for decades to hold off the steady advance of Israeli settlers. In 2021, in violation of international and Israeli law, settlers erected a cluster of homes and caravans on a nearby hilltop that became the Jewish outpost of Enviatar. Military evacuation orders never stuck. In June, Enviatar was one of 5 outposts legalized by Israel's far-right government, part of a sweeping effort led by Bezalel Smotrich, a longtime settler activist who now serves as finance minister, to solidify Israeli control of the West Bank. Palestinian residents hold weekly prayers on the hillside opposite the settlement as an act of symbolic protest. The Israeli army started to come to the area on a weekly basis and tried to prevent the Friday prayer several times. They suppress us with tear gas and bullets, but the activities continued, according to Dwakat. Iggy had hoped to bear witness, said Helen, the Australian activist, who was assigned to her as a accountability buddy to observe Friday's demonstration. It was her first West Bank protest, too. The Friday prayer site, a park with children's swings and a slide atop a steep hill, was quiet when the international observers arrived, but Israeli soldiers were already positioned along the perimeter, residents and activists said. Villagers started to gather by foot and by car and mingle with the volunteers. A British activist recounted talking to Iggy as they eyed the soldiers on the other side of the park's fence. "I'm nervous because the army's right there," he recalled her saying. It was a little after 12:30 p.m. when the prayers began. Men lined up in rows. Iggy, sitting off to the side, put her hands up to worship. Video taken by activists show a serene scene. As soon as the service ended around 1:05 p.m., the mood shifted, according to videos and eyewitnesses. Older residents drove away. Young men and children took up positions on the road leading down from the park. It's unclear how the confrontation began, those parents said, but initially it followed the regular rhythm of clashes between heavily armed soldiers and Palestinian protesters. Some threw stones, including with slingshots, while others burned tires on the hillside, photographs show. Israeli forces used tear gas to disperse the crowd, then resorted almost immediately to live ammunition, residents and activists said. Sounds about right. The Israeli soldiers were very proactive, said Jonathan Pollock, a longtime Israeli activist with FAZ 3A, who frequently attends the Beita demonstrations and was there that day. Since October, Pollock has said that the use of live fire has become routine in Beita as the military's dispersal means of choice. The IDF declined to comment on its use of live fire during protests. Alex Chabot, author, American volunteer with a FOZ 3A, was running late when he began walking up the hill to the prayer area. He pulled out his phone to start filming. It was 1:14 p.m. according to a post review of the video's metadata. Gas, 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 someone shouts in the second video as he films. So here's the
live
first
rounds. Flashing tear gas everywhere. See soldiers up there. They're using live rounds. Flashing tear gas everywhere.
Iggy, shocked by the swift escalation, had already started back down the road behind the boys, behind the other volunteers, Helen said. Other activists and Palestinians took cover behind trees, rocks, and terraces, while others put obstacles at various points down the road, including rocks and a dumpster. Protesters said it was a common tactic used to waylay Israeli troops who often raid the village after Friday prayers. A photograph taken at 1:21 p.m. shows at least 4 Israeli soldiers at the top of the hill. Video and photos from the next several minutes show soldiers taking up positions on higher ground, including on the rooftop of Bieta resident Ali Mali's home and near a military vehicle. So that's the home they're referring to. This is the detail area. You can see the Israeli troops. Molly's house is built into the slope of the hill, about 80 yards from the prayer site. It offers a clear view of the olive groves below. Israeli forces frequently commandeer his roof on Fridays, the 44-year-old said, as it's a strategic location. That day, he said they arrived immediately after the prayer, and at least 4 soldiers climbed to the roof. Mali and several others gathered on his veranda below and tried to stay out of sight. Helen slipped and fell during the scary race down the road, at one point spraining her ankle, she said, but the younger woman stayed with her, being a proactive strength. A video filmed at 1:22 p.m. shows the road next to the olive grove as shots rang out. Do we not get that video? Here it is.
And supposedly a bullet just hit the dumpster. So I was just sitting by the dumpster, and supposedly a bullet just hit the dumpster.
You can hear gunshots. From his veranda, Molly heard a strong sound of a gun firing from above, he said, and the impact shook the house. Helen, standing next to Iggy, heard a large crack sound of live ammunition. The moment of the gunshots was not caught on any footage reviewed by the Post. There was nothing much happening at the time to film, activists and residents said. Some people say there were 2 shots. Some people say there were 3, said Cabot, who thought he heard one ping off the dumpster in front of him. It was chaos. At 1:48 p.m., he began filming. Gunshot, an unseen woman can be heard screaming in the background. She pleads for an ambulance. In the olive grove, Helen saw Iggy drop face down to the ground beside her. The older woman rolled her over. Blood was pouring from the left side of Iggy's face, and she was unresponsive. The IDF's initial inquiry into Iggy's death found that it was highly likely that she was hit indirectly and unintentionally by IDF fire, which was not aimed at her, but aimed at the key instigator of the riot. From all accounts, what fucking riot? Yet the shots fired toward the activists, including the one that claimed Iggy's life, came some 20 minutes after they had retreated to the bottom of the hill, more than 2 football fields away from the nearest Israeli soldiers. Even an Olympic stone thrower cannot make half that distance. The IDF did not respond to Post questions about the identity of the instigator or why live fire was justified under the circumstances. The military's rules of engagement are an instrument for justifying use of fire rather than a means for controlling it, said Carmel from Breaking the Silence. Urron Moaz, 23, who had escaped down the hill with the rest of the crowd, was standing beside a 17-year-old Palestinian when the shots rang out. I saw the boy immediately putting his hands on his stomach, he said. I started screaming to the ambulance. The Palestinian teenager, who Moaz said was lightly injured by ricocheting bullet, declined multiple requests to be interviewed via intermediaries, as did his family members. Moaz doesn't know if he was hit by a first or second shot or where exactly the bullet caromed off of. A Bieta resident said it was probably an electricity pole or the dumpster. It all happened too fast, Moaz said. When he realized someone had been more seriously hurt, he ran to the olive grove. A video filmed at 1:49 p.m. shows Iggy bleeding and surrounded by paramedics. Bring a stretcher quickly, someone cries. Quickly! Iggy is lifted into an ambulance. She was pronounced dead at around 2:35 p.m. at Rafidia Hospital, according to Director Fond Nafa, after multiple attempts at resuscitation. During her training with ISM, Iggy had spoken about her fear that she wouldn't make a difference, fellow activists said. Her death has now become a test case for U.S.-Israel relations after 11 months of growing tensions between the two allies over the war in Gaza and Israeli policy in the West Bank. The U.S. government has had full access to Israel's preliminary investigation and expects continued access to the investigation so that we can have confidence in the result, Biden said on Wednesday. Iggy's loved ones say that's not enough. Let us be clear, an American citizen was killed by a foreign military in a targeted attack. According to a statement from the family released on Wednesday, the appropriate action is for President Biden and Vice President Harris to speak with the family directly and order an independent, transparent investigation into the killing of Ajnur, a volunteer for peace. I don't say this often. We cover a lot of news on this show. Good job, Washington Post. That was good reporting. Ducky, good evening. The State Department was pressed about the fact that it was an American citizen seemingly targeted by the IDF. This was before they came out and said it was unintentional. This was a couple of days ago. This is the State Department. Vindit Patel.
A lot of people looking at this incident have pointed out the what seems to be a double standard or a different treatment of this death, death of an American citizen at the hands of Israeli forces to, other incidents where Americans have been killed in the conflicts in the Middle East or injured. Obviously there are different circumstances, but the president in relation to an attack by Iranian proxies earlier this year said, if you harm an American, we will respond. Does that apply in this case, or are we talking about a different standard?
Well, it's clear to anybody, Simon, that what the president was talking about in that context was a terrorist attack or a direct attack from a state or non-state actor that intentionally...
From a state actor that intentionally targets an American citizen. This is the deputy press secretary for the State Department.
Was conducted to put Americans or American citizens in harm's way. And of course, when it comes to the protection of our citizens and our personnel, and if they are targeted, we of course will take appropriate action. As it relates to the events on Friday, we are still gathering information as it relates to what transpired, what happened, and as tragic as it is, and it is tragic anytime anybody loses their life, any civilian loses their life. For people who work at this department, it is especially tragic when an American citizen loses their life. But we still don't know with full certainty what transpired and what happened, and that's why we are working to get as much information as we can, as well as encouraging our partners in Israel to quickly and robustly conduct and conclude their process and make their findings public so we can understand what happened. And should whatever happened deem that there be appropriate accountability, the United States would certainly expect that as well.
There's a non-answer.
I was saying before, it is of course tragic when any civilian loses their life. But it is important to note what you said, Simon, which is that each circumstance is different. And it is really important to keep that in mind in these processes.
The way that you're describing that sounds like you haven't sort of obviously you don't know exactly what transpired, but do you have doubt that it was an Israeli bullet?
I am not going to get ahead of a process here, Simon. Obviously, there has been a great deal of open source and public reporting and eyewitness reporting about what transpired on Friday, and I certainly will let those comments and those reportings be. But I think most important is to let this process play out, for the facts to be gathered and for those to come to light. And I will just leave it at that.
Now, just for clarification, I believe the guy that was struck in the leg, I believe they're saying the bullet ricocheted off of a pole or a dumpster and hit him in the leg. I don't think they're trying to claim that Iggy was hit, because seemed like a direct hit in the head from the accounts that we got. Seemed like a pretty direct shot. I said we'll hear from Anthony Blinken. This was yesterday at a State Department event.
And Shane Tandon from AFP. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Foreign Secretary. Secretary Blinken, could I ask you about a couple of aspects of the Middle East? The Israel Defense Forces.
This is not Secretary Blinken, by the way. This is Secretary Blinken.
Some preliminary findings into the death of an American citizen, Miss Eisenor Enyegi. Could you say, they said that she was...
The guy that you were seeing on screen was the UK counterpart to Blinken.
Killed most likely by Israeli fire, but unintentionally. Are you confident with that assessment? Does the United States want to see anything further? Are you confident with the assessment that this was unintentional? And what more do you want Israel to do? Could there be repercussions? For both of you, could I ask you about the International Criminal Court? It seems that in the coming days there could be a formal decision on whether to seek an arrest warrant for Prime Minister Netanyahu, among others. Mr. Foreign Secretary, the Labour government, of course, has taken a slightly different stance from your predecessors, from the Conservatives on this. Could you say what your position is, whether you support going ahead, and is there unity between the two allies on this? Thank you.
Sean, thank you very much. With regard to the tragic killing of Eisenor, I think what we saw this investigation is it seems to show what eyewitnesses have said and made clear, that her killing was both unprovoked and unjustified. No one should be shot and killed for attending a protest. No one should have to put their life at risk.
My apologies for that. I went to mute the microphone and I already had it muted, and that's why I coughed at you. My apologies. Ducky, good evening.
Just for freely expressing their views. In our judgment, Israeli security forces need to make some fundamental changes in the way that they operate in the West Bank, including changes to their rules of engagement. We've long seen reports of the security forces looking the other way when extremist settlers use violence against Palestinians. We've seen reports of excessive force by Israeli security forces against Palestinians. And now we have the second American citizen killed at the hands of Israeli security forces.
What you going to do about it?
It has to change. And we'll be making that clear to the senior-most members of the Israeli government. Now, we're looking carefully at the results of this investigation, but even on an initial read, and even accepting it at face value, it's clear that there are serious issues that need to be dealt with.
Well, I mean, when are we counting U.S. citizens? Because, is he talking about Abu Akleh? I mean, I'm still wanting justice for that. And that was before the war in Gaza even started.
And we will insist that they be dealt with.
I think the important thing to stress in great democracies such as ours is our belief in the separation of powers. There is an important forum for lawyers and the judiciary and our courts, and then there is also an important forum for politicians and those who represent the people.
Yeah, that's what you do. You're the diplomats, dumbasses.
Okay, in our belief in the international rule of law, the rules-based order, and in IHL issues which are fundamentally important. And we took a decision last week in relation to arms exports that were quasi-legal on the basis of our law as they stand. We believe in international law, we believe in the Statute of Rome, but these...
What does it mean to be quasi-legal? I mean, he means quasi in English.
I don't want to comment on the assessment that they will reach. I qualified as a lawyer in part because of the great Harvard Law School, but I'm going to leave it to the lawyers to determine these very complex matters.
Quantum legal. Legal in quasars. No, that doesn't make any sense. Things are either legal or not legal. They are not quasi-legal. It is insane. Not only is the U.S. should be upset, the U.S. should be upset about the killing of a U.S. citizen, the UN is getting pretty tired of the IDF killing their staff members.
Let's be clear, we must condemn firmly what was the horrible terror attacks that Hamas has produced.
Oh, goddamn.
Afterwards, we have witnessed a series of military interventions by Israel in Gaza with a level of death and destruction that has no parallel in my time as Secretary General. Unfortunately, the institutions we have shown an enormous difficulty in making sure that accountability takes place. We have courts, but we see that the decisions of courts are not respected. And it is this kind of limbo of accountability that is totally unacceptable, and that requires also a serious reflection, namely in the context of the Summit of the Future and in the context of all attempts to do a serious reform of our institutions.
They're killing aid workers, they're killing UN staff, they're killing American citizens. Why? Why is no one stopping them? It doesn't make any sense. And now, their citizens are protesting. Their newspaper is holding them to the fire. This is Haaretz. We're getting ready to read from Haaretz. This is an editorial. Why is Israel afraid to allow foreign journalists into Gaza? What is it hiding? I think we all know what it's hiding. By blocking journalists from Gaza, Israel not only prevents coverage of the war's horrors, but also hinders real-time scrutiny of Hamas's claims, a key Israeli interest. 11 months into the war, it's possible to say that the circumstances Israel used to justify barring the media from Gaza are no longer valid. Oh man, I gotta register my email in order to continue reading this article. Gaza is hiding Justin's Christmas presents. They were never valid. Thank you, mitochondria. But we are finally starting, I hope. And if Harris wins the election, hopefully the tone changes. I think Blinken is actually, given Blinken's early statements after October 7th, and he was quick. He was probably the most forceful administration official to call for a ceasefire and then had to walk that back. I think that he himself is horrified by what's going on. Or at least I hope. But he is carrying out Biden's policy.
Come on, man.
Yeah, the amount of journalists that have been killed are like more than all the wars combined of the last century. It's insane. Netanyahu's hold on power rests on avoiding a Gaza ceasefire. This is according to New Jersey Senator Chris Murphy, who said a ceasefire feels less likely with every passing month and suspects Netanyahu doesn't want to hand Biden a diplomatic victory. U.S. Senator Chris Murphy said on Monday that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has a vested political interest in avoiding a ceasefire in Gaza and that his coalition partners would likely not stand for a deal that includes releasing Hamas prisoners. Very difficult given the fact that for both the Israeli government, Netanyahu's government, and for Hamas, there's political upside in not signing a ceasefire. Murphy, you didn't have to say Hamas. Like, Hamas has agreed to multiple ceasefires. Hamas has agreed to U.S. terms multiple times. They are not the holdup. Netanyahu's hold on power may ultimately be dependent on him not signing that ceasefire agreement, Murphy said. Murphy, who serves on the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee, added that it was unfortunate, but he believes that Hamas is gaining more global support as the war continues, and that is preventing the Palestinian armed group from signing a deal. What? You had me in the first half, Murphy, not gonna lie. In early September, U.S. President Joe Biden also said he didn't think Netanyahu was doing enough to secure a ceasefire deal, but the sentiment that Israel is holding back negotiation goes against the broader narrative that the Biden administration has for months maintained, which accuses Hamas of stymieing a deal, which they have agreed to multiple times. I condemn Chris Murphy.
Condemn.
And deserves a titty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to have to get our commercial break out of the way. When we come back, post-debate coverage, we're going to talk about eating cats. We're going to talk about Haitian immigrants. We're going to talk about Fox and their reaction to Harris winning. Conspiracy theories about Harris's earrings. Taylor Swift's endorsement. Trump has already threatened Taylor Swift. Also, Harris, kind of pulling something a little sketchy, was using a Google corporate attorney for debate prep that is actually working on the Google antitrust lawsuit currently being waged by the Biden DOJ. All that and a lot freaking more on the other side of the break here on the Troll Patrol live. Oh, hold on. It's just going to start by itself in like 15 seconds. I should have actually, like, if I'd seen the time, I would have actually hit it like perfectly. Flash! Thank you for the gift sub, my friend. Here's your commercial break. Ducky, did I tell you good evening? You no commercial break having motherfucker. Murphy deserved a washed antenna. Well, I'm glad he came out and said it's Netanyahu. But, like, how in the fuck are you going to come back? Like, you have to know. You're on the Foreign Relations Committee. You have to know Hamas has agreed to multiple deals, right? So why would you say that? Why would you be disingenuous? God damn it, Chris Murphy. It didn't even start a commercial break. Fred, I saw you sneak in here. I didn't tell you good evening. Simp, did I tell you good evening? Do I have the origin of the pet eating? It's an amalgamation of a couple different things. We went over it the other night. I have the couple of pictures. I have the video. It was an American woman in Canton was arrested, not Haitian, not an immigrant. Princess Kimberly, good evening. She was arrested for attacking a cat. And there's some idea about possibly eating it or some shit. And then there's a picture of a guy walking around with a goose that apparently happened at a, Simp. Yeah. I saw the Majority Report actually played that clip today or yesterday or something. A literal neo-Nazi. I thought you were asking me about the origins. Because like with everything, there is a shred of truth to it, right? There was a video that went viral on, there are these different, crime statistics Twitters. Nathan, good evening. And there's all these crime story statistic Twitter sites. And they shared out a clip of I think it's a dashboard camera or body camera footage. And it's like a woman who's having a mental break or is on drugs. There's something more going on. And she's a black woman. But she's an American. She was born here. It's the Morton! Mr. Blobby emote. The fuck are you talking about? I'm so confused. What are you on about, Morton? Explain yourself. You got 25 seconds before the commercial break ends. We get back to the news. Because it's a busy news day. Welcome in. I'm Justin Freakin. We find out what that news be doing. I don't think it's Warlord. I'm sure Warlord has all accounts, but I don't think I've ever encountered any of them. Welcome everybody back from commercial break on Twitch. We get, Warlord is the greatest subscriber. He's also the head mod. Everybody flipping out about Warlord in the chat was hilarious to me. Warlord, good dude. Just wants to watch the world burn. Think of him more like a George Carlin. I know he was in here rooting for Trump and everything. He's just trying to get you guys worked up. I mean, he's probably actually for Trump. I've got to know him pretty well. But he's for Trump just because he wants hilarity to ensue from it. Did I explain that properly? You ended up in good people territory. What? Morton, I need you to explain what you're talking about. I have no idea. Yeah, he keeps the chat spicy. I'm either not high enough or too high for this shit. We're gonna go with I'm not high enough, so light one up, tip one back. Thread vouches for you though, so you're cool. I ain't looking at you funny or anything. Do not attempt to conceive. Fair enough, Thread. Fair enough. All right. Well, let's do some debate. Let's do the debate aftermath. The highlight everybody's talking about, I don't know. I might even have to make it into a drop.
To our country.
Fuck, Nathan, happy birthday, my friend. Everybody, we got a happy birthday to Nathan. I don't think I can sing this song because of Disney. But you deserve a titty slap.
Titty slap!
Fucking A, Nathan, light one up, tip one back. That's pretty good improv. Thank you. Mox, good evening. Now on to our debate aftermath coverage. The thing everyone is talking about from the debate. This is the time when he first got frustrated. I put the two words together. And a slappy titty to you. This is the clip that has been going viral where he gets frustrated for the first time.
To our country and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
The question is, why did Donald Trump lobby against the immigration bill? They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
To our country and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason to our country.
It was the rallies. I think her reaction was perfect. But we already knew the story was BS. We covered it here on the Troll Patrol on Monday. And we even talked, is Donald Trump going to bring it up in the debate? Wouldn't you know who won the pony? This happened on Monday or Tuesday. Eric Swalwell was already eviscerating Republicans for this nonsense.
What in the hell is this? The chairman tweets, protect our ducks and kittens in Ohio because he goes down some crazy rabbit hole, completely debunked that aliens are eating pets? My God, are you okay, Mr. Chairman? Because last year, for a very long time, you tweeted and promoted Kanye West as he was calling for genocide against the Jews, and you kept it up. And now, when we have victims coming here, you're tweeting this nonsense. I don't know why you would do this. I hope you're okay. I don't know if the aliens who are eating your ducks are in the room with us right now, but Mr. Chairman, this is a serious issue. These people have loved ones who have been lost, and you tweeted this.
Let him cook the ducks. Rush Limbaugh said it right before he died.
As a conservative, it's getting harder and harder to not look like a kook.
They're out of their goddamn minds. But this lunacy, it's fun for us. It's fun for the memes. There's been all kinds of fun cat memes because of it. This one is excellent. Here's Martha Stewart. If you don't have pets at home, store-bought is fine. I really enjoyed this one. This is always a classic from back in the Trump first term. And then I said, there's transgender operation on illegal aliens in prison, and they're eating the dogs and cats. But we've got to remember that this is a horrible conspiracy theory that has real life consequences on real life people, and Haitian immigrants have been demonized in this country for a very long time.
Let's now dive a little deeper into one of the most talked about moments from last night's debate. Former President Trump's baseless claims that Haitian immigrants are eating pets in Springfield, Ohio. Last night in the debate spin room, NBC's Yamiche Alcindor asked Trump's running mate and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance about those claims, which Vance has been amplifying. Take a look.
It was started by a literal Nazi.
To Haitian Americans and Haitian immigrants who say spreading false claims about them put their lives at risk.
Well, I don't think that no one has spread false claims. What
they
said is that a small migrant community, 20,000, so it's big for the city of Springfield, but it's small compared to all Haitians in the United States of America, that small migrant community has caused a lot of problems. It's led to higher rates of communicable diseases. That's a verifiable fact. It's led to animals disappearing. Many of my constituents have said that has been happening. It's led to higher home prices. That is a verifiable fact. So this influx has led to a lot of
But you said that
poverty
immigrants
in
have
Springfield.
eaten
Let me
animals,
finish. Let me
and city
finish
officials have
the
said that
question.
that's not
Excuse me.
true.
City officials have said that's not true. That's not actually accurate. The city manager said there's no verifiable evidence. A lot of residents.
Oh my God!
There is.
Now, in recent years,
insane.
Haitian immigrants have settled in Springfield, Ohio, filling jobs and boosting the economy, but also straining local resources, which has created tension in the community. NBC's Yamiche Alcindor is in Springfield, Ohio. She joins me now. So, Yamiche, give us the reality check. What is actually happening in Springfield right now? What has the reaction been to this country?
The Haitians put the spring in Springfield.
Well, there's been a lot of shock and really pain in the Haitian community here. A lot of the Haitian immigrants who came here legally. Most of them came here legally through federal programs. The city also advertised new manufacturing jobs as well as the city's affordability to try to attract people here, because this was a city that had lost something like 20,000 people and had dwindled down to about 60,000 people from a high of 80,000 people. So this was really a place where they felt like we're going to welcoming them. But now there are some residents who say that they really don't like the change. I talked to one man who said that he doesn't like the cultural changes. He doesn't like the idea that there are people here that are changing the racial makeup of this city, saying that the city's sort of lost. He also said that there were, in his mind, claims that there were stray cats missing, and sort of had this idea that maybe Haitians were abusing animals. Of course, city officials have said there's no evidence of that. And Haitian migrants, they're people who are fleeing violence, gang violence in their country. So they were already traumatized when they got here. And I'm hearing that they're just even more traumatized by this back and forth, and are really saddened that former President Trump, someone who they say is seeking the highest office of the land, is really giving any kind of oxygen to what really is a baseless accusation.
And you actually spoke, Yamiche, to one of the leaders of Springfield's Haitian community. What did he tell you?
That's right. I spoke to Vilas Dorceville. He only moved to Springfield himself a few years ago, but he's already now an executive director of a community center for Haitian Americans and Haitian immigrants coming here. Take a listen to what he told me about sort of how Haitians are taking in this news.
They are scared for their lives. Some of them are asking me, even yesterday I got a friend calling me asking me if he has to leave because he's scared for his life. So another friend told me that it seems that he would have had some family coming to visit him, but it seems that he gonna welcome them in Columbus or Dayton, because it is not safe right now for him in Springfield.
And I have to tell you, Kristen, there were a number of Haitian immigrants that I talked to who were scared to even go on camera because they're worried that they're going to get harassed or targeted when they show their faces and tell people that they do not like these claims being spread. The other thing that Vilas told me is that there are a lot of people who want to see their futures and felt welcomed here, and now they're really thinking about moving and leaving and maybe going to Miami or New York, places that have long had Haitian communities. So it really is maybe even changing the population here, and that's something that I think is really heartbreaking for a lot of people.
Will Smith has a song about going to Miami.
It's a fascinating conversation. Great reporting on this story.
Unless she means Miami, Ohio, because there is a Miami, Ohio.
Being on the ground there to sort through what's actually happening.
A completely different city. Shut up, Lester. A family has went to a city council meeting begging politicians to stop using their son. This is also something that Trump brought up at the debate. The father of an 11-year-old boy killed last year when a minivan driver struck his school bus, spoke at Tuesday's Springfield City Commission meeting, again pleading with community to stop using his son's name as part of a hateful statement or as part of hateful statements toward Haitian immigrants. Nathan Clark, Aiden Clark's father, stood next to his wife Danielle at a packed city commission meeting, urging people to cease using his son for their political views.
We felt it would be in our best interest to be here after recent comments. You know, I wish that my son, Aiden Clark, was killed by a 60-year-old white man. I bet you never thought anyone would ever say something so blunt. But if that guy killed my 11-year-old son, the incessant group of hate-spewing people would leave us alone. The last thing that we need is to have the worst day of our lives violently and constantly shoved in our faces. But even that's not good enough for them. They take it one step further. They make it seem as though our wonderful Aiden appreciates your hate, that we should follow their hate. And look what you've done to us. We have to get up here and beg them to stop. Using Aiden as a political tool is, to say the least, reprehensible for any political purpose. And speaking of morally bankrupt, politicians, Bernie Moreno, Chip Roy, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump, they have spoken my son's name and used his death for political gain. This needs to stop now. They can vomit all the hate they want about illegal immigrants, the border crisis, and even untrue claims about fluffy pets being ravaged and eaten by community members. However, they are not allowed, nor have they ever been allowed to mention Aiden Clark from Springfield, Ohio. I will listen to them one more time to hear their apologies. To clear the air, my son, Aiden Clark, was not murdered. He was accidentally killed by an immigrant from Haiti. This tragedy is felt all over this community, the state, and even the nation. But don't spin this towards hate. In order to live like Aiden, you need to accept everyone, choose to shine, make the difference, lead the way, and be the inspiration. What many people in this community and state and nation are doing is the opposite of what you should be doing. Sure, we have our problems here in Springfield and in the U.S., but does Aiden Clark have anything to do with that? Did you know that an 11-year-old boy could be passionate about gardening, that he could haggle for a better price at a yard sale? Did you know that he researched different cultures to better appreciate and understand people that he interacted with? Did you know that one of the worst feelings in the world is to not be able to protect your child? Even worse, we can't even protect his memory when he's gone. Please stop the hate. I said to Aiden that I would try to make a difference in his honor. This is it. Live like Aiden. Thank you.
And that absolutely will not stop any of those Republican ghouls from using that young child's name, despite the fact that it is against the parents' wishes, because they are heartless. Another key moment during the debate last night was Trump desperately backtracking from a major admission about the 2020 election. Trump suddenly took back his admission that he lost the previous election. Last week, Trump finally admitted that he lost during an interview on the Lex Friedman podcast, where he shared that he lost the 2020 election to Joe Biden by a whisker. The announcement sent some of his base, including January 6 rioters, into a frenzy. Some of them, including white supremacist Nick Fuentes, questioned why Trump allowed his supporters to rush headlong into insurmountable legal troubles under the cover of a lie. Because he's a narcissist that didn't want to give up power, you dipshit. And you guys are all stupid and fell for it because right-wingers are morons.
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I
you
said
did
that
say
sarcastically.
But
You know that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically. Look, there's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it. And they should have sent it back to the legislatures for approval. I got almost 75 million votes, the most votes any sitting president has ever gotten. I was told if I got 63, which was what I got in 2016, you can't be beaten. The election, people should never be thinking about an election as fraudulent. We need two things. We need walls, and we have to have it. We have to have borders, and we have to have good elections.
That's exactly who he's talking about. When he's saying he has proof, he has Mike Lindell and Mike Lindell's PowerPoint presentation. That is what he is talking about. When he said that he wanted ABC to do a special on it, he wanted Mike Lindell to come on and show his PowerPoint that we watched that had no evidence.
I was on crack.
Right. Well,
He has concept of proof that the election was stolen.
Our elections are bad. And a lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying to get them to vote. They can't even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically. And these people are trying to get them to vote. And that's why they're allowing them to come into our country.
I did watch all of these pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm. Lost by a whisker. We didn't quite make it. And we should just point out here as clarification, and you know this, you and your allies, 60 cases in front of many judges, many of them
No
Republican.
judge looked at it.
And said
They
there was
said
no
we didn't have
widespread fraud.
standing. That's
Yes, you didn't have standing to bring a case. It's common. That means you lost. That means your case was nonsense.
the other thing. They said we didn't have standing, a technicality. Can you imagine a system where a person in an election doesn't have standing? The President of the United States doesn't have standing. That's how we lost. If you look at the facts, and I'd love to have you'll do a special on it. I'll show you Georgia, and I'll show you Wisconsin, and I'll show you Pennsylvania.
Mike Lindell will.
We have so many facts and statistics, but you know what? That doesn't matter, because we have to solve the problem that we have right now. That's old news. And the problem that we have right now is we have a nation in decline, and they have put it into decline. We have a nation that is dying, David.
Mr. President.
Dying, David. So Walkback has claimed that he actually lost the election. After the debate, he was confronted by one of the Central Park 5. And we have video of it, so this should be incredibly interesting.
It was historic and heated. Less than 24 hours after our ABC News presidential debate, the issue of race is creating quite a conversation. After this moment, my producer Diana Paulson actually captured in the spin room via her cell phone right after the debate. Take a listen.
President Trump, I'm Yusef Salaam, one of the exonerated 5. Sir, a member of the Central Park 5. I'm Yusef Salaam, one of the exonerated 5. You're on my side. No, I'm not on your side.
Donald Trump.
I'm not on your side.
Right after the debate by Yusef Salaam, you saw right there one of the members of the so-called Central Park 5, the group of teens who were wrongfully imprisoned for the assault and rape of a jogger in 1989. At the time, Trump called for them to get the death penalty, but the group was later exonerated. Yusef Salaam is now a New York City councilman and came face-to-face with the former president, as you saw right there in our spin room last night. Joining me for more on this and, of course, more on the presidential debate, and NAACP President Derek Johnson. Great to have you.
Oh, shut up, Derek. Confronted by one of the Central Park 5. He didn't really pay him much mind. Said, "You're on my side." The dude... Trump, I'm sorry, but people that you have tried to have killed, they're usually not on your side. Apparently, Mike Pence not on Trump's side in this election. Who does Fox News think won the Harris-Trump debate?
Vice President Harris was clearly well prepared, practiced on the offensive much of the night. Former President Trump did take a lot of the bait that she threw out.
Make no mistake about it, Trump had a bad night.
He rose to the bait repeatedly when she baited him, something I'm sure his advisors had begged him not to do. And we heard so many of the old grievances that we'd long thought that Trump had learned were not winners politically. And there they all were, talking about how he didn't lose the election and all that. I mean, so my sense is that she came out of this in pretty good shape. But for tonight, at least, this was pretty much her night.
You're saying she had a good night?
I'm saying she certainly did.
This what has to be thought of by supporters of Donald Trump and people in that campaign as a disappointment. I got reaction from Republican friends. The two common things were train wreck and he needs this to end. She conveyed the calm. She conveyed a preparation. She was tenacious on Russia. She had clarity about the future of the country. He was a little too gloomy, I thought. And when asked, I saw around the table.
He sulked the whole time.
Not be definitive about a set of plans. He said, I have concepts of a plan. Here we are, 56 days from an election. You've been president before. He's got to recover from this.
This was rough. This was pretty intense at times. She started off shaky. She regained her footing. You watch this thing, if you're a Democrat, you're like, oh, she did a great job. You're Republican, you look at this and you're like, that's Donald Trump. He had some moments where you were like, oh my God, where are we going with this?
But he missed more opportunities. And he took all the bait and none of the opportunities. She pivoted better.
Did Donald Trump miss a few opportunities? Absolutely.
Tonight, she won.
He absolutely did. Even Fox News said it. Now, there is a little thing called cognitive dissonance, and there are some people that can't accept that she won, or maybe that if she won, she had to have help. So there are conspiracy theories that have popped up, like she was wearing earrings. That she was wearing earrings. Some conspiracy-minded Trump supporters have claimed that Vice President Harris got secret and unfair help in her Tuesday night debate against the Republican nominee. The theory goes like this. Harris's earrings contained a clandestine Bluetooth device that enabled her to be coached by unseen aides during the debate. One ex-user, dubbed the Maverick Approach, a self-described alternative news source, peddled a claim early Wednesday that Harris had been fitted with a pair of smart earrings developed by Nova, a German company. There's a major issue with this debate. They posted, I told myself she was fed to say, I told myself she was fed what to say during the debate, and my hunch was right. Nova is the world's first and only wireless earphones.
Maybe she's wearing an earpiece, but nah, who would be dumb enough to do that, right? But these are pretty interesting looking earrings.
Spoiler alert, they're not the same earrings. These are the actual earrings. The New York Post
it was 3-1
showed.
rigged deal, as I assumed it would be, because when you looked at the fact that they were correcting everything and not correcting with her.
It was rigged against him, of course. Stephen Miller confronted after the debate. It apparently didn't go too well for him. He was confronted on the topic of gangs from Venezuela and Haiti.
Day one. All these criminal migrants that have been flooded in the country are going to be the first to get thrown out of here. I mean, you've seen case after case, these heartbreaking tragedies. Those ones are going to get found and deported first. And look at this Venezuelan gang. You have a Venezuelan gang that is taking over entire apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado, and that's responsible, by the way, for some of the most heinous crimes that have happened all over the United States. The crime rate in Venezuela is down, I believe, a little bit over 60% over the last several years.
Are you trusting the official figures from the Venezuelan dictatorship?
Let's put it this way. If you're a dictator of a poor country with a high crime rate, wouldn't you send your criminals to our open border?
That wasn't my question. Are you trusting the figures of the dictatorships? Those are Maduro numbers.
I am believing that it is in the interest of a criminal dictator to let his criminals out of their jails and come to our country.
Do you have numbers, real numbers, not dictatorship numbers?
The Venezuelan gangs that have, you've seen the CCTV footage. I have a question. Who do you think? Answer me this.
My family is from Venezuela. I know very well the situation of Caracas and many other cities.
Tell me, who were the people with the high-powered rifles in the hallway of that apartment building? Who were they?
They were gangsters from Venezuela.
Right. No American community.
But I was asking to you about figures, numbers,
what I'm
facts.
saying to you is the facts are the dead bodies. The facts are...
You said that Caracas has a lowest crime rate than the USA.
The facts are the mutilated bodies. The facts are the people in the morgues that are dead.
I was asking you about Caracas and the numbers in Caracas. Are you trusting the numbers of the dictatorship
I am trusting the fact that Kamala Harris is letting illegal immigrants into this country who are raping and murdering children.
I had been very respectful. Why are you yelling?
Do you know who Jocelyn Nungary is? Do you know who...
Hide your kids, hide your wives. They raping everybody out here.
She is.
Do you know how many people is experiencing violence in Caracas?
Who is she? Who is Laken Riley?
Why are you yelling again?
Because I'm yelling because children are being raped and murdered.
I was just asking for figures, and you have not replied to me about those figures.
Murdered. Do you know who Kayla Hamilton is?
Do you trust the numbers of Nicolas Maduro? I'm asking again.
I trust a ruthless dictator will empty his prisons and send their criminals to our country.
So you trust his numbers?
The most dangerous gang in Venezuela is
now. You trust Nicolas Maduro?
I trust that he does not want his criminals to be...
So you believe in his numbers?
I believe he's sending his criminals to our country.
And do you think that the crime rate in Venezuela have decreased?
Do you not believe the law enforcement reports of Venezuelan gangs in this country?
I was asking for the Venezuelan government figures, not the figures here.
Are Venezuelan gangs in this country or not? Yes or no?
What are the figures that you say to say that in Caracas the number is lower than in the USA?
Are Venezuelan gangs in this country or not?
So you don't have numbers.
You know who has numbers? The Department of Homeland Security. You can ask Mayorkas for numbers. You can ask the Director Ray for the numbers.
Sir,
I'm telling you.
You said that in Venezuela the crime rate is lower than the USA.
Yes, because
what are your numbers? That's my question.
You got numbers?
Are here now.
Those are Maduro's numbers.
I can tell you again that Border Patrol agents are encountering thousands
trust
of
Maduro numbers?
I trust the border agents in our country.
But and I am not saying that Caracas has a lower...
I'm assuming that Maduro's numbers are kind of like Scott Steiner's numbers.
You take your 33 and a third chance, minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
Crime rate.
Children are dead, and you are wasting my time.
No, I am not wasting your time. I'm asking for facts as a journalist.
Do you have any remorse for the dead children? Do you care at all about the dead children?
Absolutely.
Then that's what I want to leave you with, is that Donald Trump will come to
office. I was just asking for figures.
Here's what's going to happen. Donald Trump is going to be elected president, and the migrant gangs are going to be sent home. Children's lives will be saved. And you know who will benefit the most? Are the working-class Hispanic communities that are besieged by gang violence.
So you don't have figures.
Public schools.
You ain't got no figures.
Migrant gangs. You have MS-13 that is brutalizing children. You have Kayla Hamilton, who was a 20-year-old autistic girl who was raped and murdered, beaten to death. That will end. That will stop, and our children's lives will be saved. That is the most virtuous thing that can possibly be done. We are going to save the lives of our children. We will not let Kamala Harris condemn them to a life of misery, suffering, and death.
You have not replied my question.
That was amazing. You totally nailed that one, Stephen Miller. You did not look like a crazy Nazi. Republicans doing a good job of making themselves look horrible. Speaking of looking horrible, J.D. Vance responded to another shocker from last night, the endorsement of Kamala Harris by one Mrs. Tay Swifty.
How do you speak to women voters who obviously they care about what she thinks?
Of course. Well, look, we admire Taylor Swift's music, but I don't think most Americans, whether they like her music or fans of hers or not, are going to be influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and the problems of most Americans. Look, when
Hold on, let me hear what he said one more time.
Of course. Well, look, we admire Taylor Swift's music, but I don't think most Americans, whether they like her music or fans of hers or not, are going to be influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally...
A billionaire celebrity. Isn't that the top of the GOP ticket?
Celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and the problems of most Americans. Look, when
How do you speak to
are going to be influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and
fundamentally disconnected from the interests of Americans. Billionaire celebrity fundamentally disconnected from the interests of Americans. That sounds exactly like Donald Trump. I have no idea what is disconnecting, and like I don't know what caused that. Absurd to me. I was trying to go on a roll there, the whole debate thing. I was going to clip it out. I'm sorry, Thread, if you're still here. I'm sure whatever clip that you posted was worth it. And I'm sorry I didn't shout everybody out individually. I was trying to get through that whole fucking block so I could clip it on YouTube. No, something disconnected on my computer. I have no idea what it was. Kevin, F7, what is up, my friend? He is not a billionaire. He claims to be a billionaire. Technically, he's probably maybe worth $1 billion because of the Truth Social deal, but like it's falling fast. And also this motherfucker right here, JD Vance, who is like the puppet of a billionaire. Yeah, but don't do that to me though, because like I'm in the middle of shit. Oh, you did the Springfield thing. I mean, I know the bit. Oh, did they do something with the dog? Oh, okay.
The sauce on your steak, with the cheese in your cake.
No, I can't do you fucking. Disney gonna get my ass. You can't do that. That's why you can't do that. I can't play something that's got copyright. You fucked me, Thread. That's why I don't let people share links. I might be doing something I want to clip for YouTube. I might be doing a bit. Not mad at you though, Thread. Not mad at you. Not just YouTube, but like we're everywhere. I put this show every fucking where. Spotify is cool though. Spotify doesn't give me copyright claims. Hey, you cost me my 24 cents on YouTube today. I'm sure the bit is wonderful though. There was this far right nut job. See, now I'm not going to be able to clip the Taylor Swift thing. Can you guys play along? We'll do JD Vance again. I don't even remember what the point was. Hold on, let's get high. No, because I'm going to go clip it out. I gets my money, thank you very much. I'll just clip it out on YouTube afterwards. It'll actually pop up and be like, this 5 seconds or something, and I'll just clip it out, and it's got a little auto thing it does. I might want to post the Taylor Swift thing. I definitely want to post all the cat eating, but I might break it up into 2 different things, because if not, it'll be like a 40-minute clip. Yes, rewind noise. Put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it. The other big news. Hold on, let me get my bearings here. Light one up, tip one back. The other big news coming out last night. God damn. The other big news coming out of last night was the crazy cat lady finally endorsing Kamala Harris. J.D. Vance reacting to the Tay Swiftie endorsement.
How do you speak to women voters who obviously they care about what she thinks?
Of course. Well, look, we admire Taylor Swift's music, but I don't think most Americans, whether they like her music or fans of hers or not, are going to be influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and the problems of most Americans. Look, when
a billionaire celebrity who is fundamentally disconnected from the interests of most Americans, doesn't that describe the presidential candidate on the GOP side, Donald Trump? If he is truly a billionaire. I don't believe so. The True Social stock may technically be worth something on paper now. I don't think it's going to be worth much by the time he gets to actually collect on it. But the right wing has had a really weird reaction to Taylor Swift's endorsement. First off, we're going to go back in time a little bit to the Dilly Show. On the Dilly Show, what the Dillio over here had some choice words for Taylor Swift a few months ago, long before she endorsed Kamala Harris.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be straight up blunt with you. As long as Taylor Swift remains, we'll call it a free agent, we will behave a certain way. The second she makes the wrong choice, it is absolutely incumbent upon us to punish that bitch for doing that.
To punish that bitch for doing that.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be straight up blunt with you. As long as Taylor Swift remains, we'll call it a free agent, we will behave a certain way. The second she makes the wrong choice, it is absolutely incumbent upon us to punish that bitch for doing that.
I think he's going to go out and buy a bunch of her CDs and burn them. And that will really show her, man. Show her. That seems like an oddly violent threat. Elon Musk also making an oddly violent threat. Donald Trump tries to win Taylor Swift over by threatening her. Donald Trump had a very normal response to Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. Trump warned Wednesday that Taylor Swift might pay a price for endorsing Harris. Swift, a self-proclaimed childless cat lady, posted on Instagram shortly after Tuesday night's presidential debate ended, announcing that she would be voting for Harris in November and urging her followers to do their own research and register to vote. Swift wrote that her endorsement was in part a response to AI-generated images that falsely purported that the superstar supported Trump. The former president was so desperate to get Swift's endorsement that he happily reposted the fake images last month. During a call into Fox and Friends Wednesday morning, Trump was asked to respond to the real Swift's sudden but inevitable betrayal. Out of nowhere, after the debate last night, Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris. Well, that was Ducey. That wasn't Trump. Well, I actually like Miss Mahomes much better. You want to know the truth, she's a big Trump fan. This is speaking about Brittany Mahomes, who's married to Patrick Mahomes, the teammate of Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce. I was not a Taylor Swift fan. It was just a question of time. Trump then claimed Swift you couldn't possibly endorse Joe Biden. You look at Biden, you couldn't possibly endorse him, but she's a very liberal person. She seems to always endorse a Democrat, and she'll probably pay a price for it at the marketplace. Last week, Brittany Mahomes liked and then unliked an Instagram post from the former president outlining his 2024 platform and promising to keep men out of women's sports, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history, and seal the borders and stop the migrant invasion. All 100% Nazi shit. Those are indeed the three proposals. I have no doubt that Trump will deliver on those proposals. That's all Nazi shit. All of it. Every single bit of it. Fire resist. Torchy, thank you guys for the resubs. Joey, good evening. Anybody else sneak in here on me? Oregon gal. Zon, my friend, good evening. Thread, you magnificent bastard. Ponder Monkey. Nabil, my friend. Hope you're doing well tonight. Mox, did I give you a shout out? Question marks. Ducky, did I tell you good evening? I know. That was like the third time. I was fucking with you then. I'm great. I'm feeling great right now. The debate went pretty well. I had a lot of fun last night, but I mean, as a political commentator, I guess it couldn't have gone better. It was great entertainment, but as a progressive, I would have liked a little more substance from the debate. Nina Turner probably sums up exactly what I'm feeling about that aspect of it.
I wish that we heard more of last night, Kano, is they didn't talk about the economy enough. They didn't talk about poor people suffering enough in this country. They didn't talk about the American that was killed, by the IDF. Some of those things that what we know from the polling in the swing states, the economy is very important. It's very important to most Americans.
Yes.
And they spent too much time on other topics.
Started on the economy, but neither answered the question.
No, they did not. And it is real. And I get that she is a part of an administration that wants to say all is fine. But when I think about the people in East Palestine, Ohio, when I think about people in Flint, Michigan, everything is not okay. And they're just an example of what Americans are going through. People are hurting in this economy, and they should have focused more. And that goes directly to the moderators as well. I wish that we heard.
Yep. Poor people. Why is there no focus on poor people? Well, that could be, the friends that you keep. I don't want to be all cherries and roses with Mrs. Harris. I want to make sure that I hold her accountable. I want to see her get elected, but I also want to put pressure on her. I'm not very happy about this aspect of her debate prep, even though it did seem to work. This seems awfully sleazy to me. Reading from the American Prospect, debate prep by day, Google defense by night. Karen Dunn is helping Kamala Harris in defending big tech from a lawsuit brought by the Biden-Harris administration. The case has spotlighted a brawl between Dunn's law firm and the DOJ. This is Karen Dunn. Kamala Harris's political advisor, Karen Dunn, seems to have the unusual ability to exist in two places at once. Last week, she both prepped Harris in Pittsburgh for tonight's presidential debate against Donald Trump and prepped legal defense strategy in an Alexandria, Virginia courtroom for Google, which is facing a monopolization lawsuit brought by Harris's own administration. The first day of the Google trial began on Monday with Dunn, a partner with firm Paul Weiss, Rifkind, Wharton, and Garrison, giving the opening statement in court. If that seems to you like a blatant conflict of interest, the Harris team would like to recommend you focus your attention elsewhere. Nothing to see here, but even the Trump campaign has picked up on it, criticizing Harris directly for her coziness with big tech's top lawyers. Whatever debate wizardry Dunn's talents apparently provide for Harris. Gotta take a break. You're getting on my nerves, buddy. Seriously. I can't know. We're having a real fight about him sitting in my lap because he likes to fucking claw me. Sorry, I just showed him to you guys. But even the Trump campaign has picked up on it, criticizing Harris directly for her coziness with big tech's top lawyers. Whatever debate wizardry Dunn's talents apparently provide for Harris comes with the cost of opening her up to attacks from the right. Karen Dunn has been a long-time revolving door figure in Washington at the intersection of big law and the Democratic Party. She did debate work for Barack Obama in 2012 and Hillary Clinton in 2016, and prepared both Attorney General Merrick Garland for his 2021 confirmation hearing and former Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos for his 2020 congressional hearing. If you'd like to read the rest of this article in the prospect, it's in the chat. Also, I'm getting back to posting my notes daily on Patreon. If you are a Patreon subscriber at just $1, you can get all my daily notes. Holiday, did I tell you good evening? Nevin, thank you. Thank you for thinking I destroyed it. It wasn't hard. He was a young kid. I didn't know that. I just got into a argument with him on Twitter and saw that he was also a content creator. And I'm like, come on and debate me. And he may not even be like allowed to drink. He may not be legally of drinking age. So not much of a win. I'm a 40-year-old man with a fucking degree in political philosophy who's been in the media for over 20 years. So it was statutory debate. So fucking one time I had this, I hooked up with this girl and we had like a little mini orgy. This was just a few years ago. And, but Craigslist still, it was one of the last years of Craigslist. And I don't remember how I invited this dude over, but he was like 19 or 20 and he walked in and there is like wild shit going on. Because I was on Molly, and I think the girl I was with was on Molly. Everybody else wasn't. But, like, we were both on Molly, so it was fucking crazy. And this kid comes in, and, like, she takes over. I think he wanted to experiment with a guy or something. And I was like, yeah, I'll play with you, dick. Something like that happened.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
But she ends up, like, he's got, like, a big schlong. So she ends up, like, taking over. And she's like, I want all the schlongs in me. And, like, he, like, you know, couldn't get a hard-on, couldn't perform. And he, like, hightailed it on out. And she described it as a level 3 in a level 34 dungeon. And that's kind of what it was like me debating Drew. He was a level 3 walking into a level 34 dungeon. That was a lot of information to get that one, and it wasn't even that funny of a joke. Give you all that content. I had this orgy one time with this woman while I was on Molly. If you're watching on Twitch, I got to hit you with the commercial break. We do the 3 minutes, get them out of the way. Nobody has to miss any content. We got all kinds of shit coming up, so you got to stick around. We're going to talk about the hurricane. We're going to talk about a suspect who's been arrested in the line fire. We're going to hear from the school shooter's mom. 3 people trapped on the other side of a bridge because of a fire. And then we've got some 9/11 bullshittery we're going to do. Bands that released an album on 9/11. Of course, Warlord's favorite mattress ads. All that and a lot freaking more on the other side of the break here on the Troll Patrol, live. And I need to refill my drink and take a pee-pee, so you guys get a small commercial break as well. Like Trump's hand, small.
Hi, I'm JustinFREAKIN. I'm a leftist broadcaster and comedian, not liberal, leftist. And despite what you may have heard from right-wing propaganda, George Soros isn't handing out Soros bucks and funding people like me. There are no Koch brothers, Mercers, or any number of right-wing think tanks funding content on the left side of the spectrum the way they fund people like Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, and Dennis Prager. And YouTube doesn't monetize videos that are controversial or deal with politics unless you're someone like Steven Crowder. So this is an ultimatum. Become a patron. Support my Patreon, or I'm going to become a right-winger and get some of that easy money. You know for a fact that I could be bigger than Charlie Kirk or Jesse Lee Peterson.
Amazing!
All I have to do is talk about how I used to be an SJW snowflake, but the left went too far with their cultural Marxism, and Republicans are stupid enough to buy it, even though this video exists. And you know I'm right, so give me your money or I'm selling you out.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
I didn't reset my drops. He surprised me like a plane on 9/11. MILF, good evening. Welcome. I do want that Russian money. I'll take it. Especially, like, if they're just going to pay me to say the shit I say already, absolutely. The fucking Lee Camp is over there on Russia Today. Fucking Russia Today. I'll go, please. Jesse Ventura used to work on Russia. I fucking don't give a shit. Did you miss a call? What? I don't, no, not tonight. I like Lee Camp. Buy a biker vest. I probably haven't watched him I haven't watched his shit in years. But like back like 2016, 2017, 2018, I was like a real big Lee Camp fan. I follow him on Twitter still, I think. I don't think I ever see him. Simp, which one did you pick out? I should make like a debate playlist, shouldn't I? People like the debates. They do good in terms of numbers. And yeah, like I'm trying to give it another go at the YouTube, right? Because you got to work at that shit. You got to post regularly. You got to like manipulate the algorithm and all that. And because I do news, I've got content that's kind of, it's not as relevant a few days later. So I have to like post consistently. And please, guys, check out the freaking news on YouTube, on TikTok, on wherever you get I can't post on Facebook right now, so I can't put it on Instagram and shit. I try to put it everywhere. Today's is funny. All of them are fucking funny. But today's is especially good. Tomorrow's gonna be really fucking good. Oh my god, I can't. Tomorrow's is the best. I saw the story today. I instantly knew the song I was going to use. Those are the best ones. I fell out of my chair laughing. I cannot wait to put it up. T-, good evening. Welcome in, my friend. You got here just in time. Let's light one up, tip one back. And I tried to get hooked up with Dave. No, you're not late. It's not over. No, not at all. I mean, sometimes I'd wrap up this early. I actually wanted to be off early tonight and had every intention of it. But then I sit down, news be doing a lot of shit. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to cover. We ain't even halfway through it yet, so buckle up. I don't think. Oh, nope, I was wrong. Damn, we're actually way further along than I thought we were. And I should have done that before the commercial break. God damn it. Anyway. Everyone needs to get off, god damn it.
You live in sexual anarchy?
I popped on Grindr because there's this really sweet lady I've been talking to on Grindr, and I might ask her out on a date eventually. She complimented me on my show. She might be listening right now. I popped on there earlier. I'm like messaging with her, and it's just like people sending me buttholes all goddamn day. I was like, wow. It was like every message was just a butthole. And let me tell you, some of you need to wash them.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
There is an ad running on Fox News, and I love it. I think it's very triggering to right-wingers. I think if Trump sees it on Fox News, holy shit.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems.
Oh, she had a big crowd. Oh, the crowd.
This weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on. America's ready for a new chapter. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire.
That's good.
Has not stopped whining about his problems.
Oh, she had a big crowd. Oh, the crowd.
This weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on. America's ready for a new chapter. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
I mean, Obama owes us out of this. Like, Obama owes us for a lot of shit, right? He's the reason you made fun of him at a correspondence dinner, which was funny. I admit it. It was fun. It was fun to mock him. But he became president all because you mocked him. And we've had to put up with him for 8 years, possibly more, all because you mocked him one night. You owe us so much. Hunter Biden, I'm glad I'm reading this from I love specifically that I am reading this from the New York Post. Hunter Biden wins $18,000 in lawsuit against ex-Trump White House aide over infamous laptop scandal. Hunter walking into the courtroom. Hunter and his gigantic schlong. Florida may be bluer than you think. It's possible Florida might put up a blue senator. Is it likely? Probably not. But it's possible. Prometheus, good evening. Hunter Biden won $18,000 in legal fees in his lawsuit against a former White House aide for his alleged role in his first son's infamous laptop scandal. President Biden's embattled son is suing Garrett Ziegler for allegedly illegally accessing and circulating the embarrassing contents of Hunter's infamous laptop on Ziegler's right-wing nonprofit website Marco Polo. Ziegler worked as an aide to President Donald Trump's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, from February 2019 until January 2021. He's been an outspoken critic of the Bidens and has exposed much of Hunter's laptop data on his site. Los Angeles federal judge Herman Vera ordered Ziegler Monday to fork over $17,929 to Hunter, who is 54 years old, for what it cost him to fight Ziegler's unsuccessful motion to toss Hunter's suit. Vera described Ziegler's motion to dismiss in his running as totally devoid of merit. Hunter's suit, which is still pending with a hearing date set for November 12th, accuses Ziegler and others of breaching computer fraud and data laws by accessing tens of thousands of emails, thousands of photos, and dozens of videos and recordings from Hunter's laptop. It's not copium, Mox. It's the numbers. She's like 3 points out from Rick Scott in the latest polls. That's not copium. That's what the polling shows. And if the polling is showing it in Florida, when I've also pointed out Florida has abortion and weed on the ballot. I don't think he wins by 10 points at all. Absolutely not. If he wins it, it will be by like 3 points or less. We're betting on that, Mox. That's the spread. He wins by 3 or less. I know you're going to point to what's her name? I said she had a shot in 2022. And the polls showed her as well as I think she was more like 5 points out. Yeah, Val Demings, who I think recently got appointed to something by Biden. I wasn't doing a political show when Beto was running for office. No, I was when he was running for governor. I don't remember saying that he had a shot because we did the governor's debate because he was running for governor in 2022, right? I don't think I was doing the troll patrol when he was running against Cruz, or was that 2020? All these last few years has been kind of a blur. Or was the governor run by Beto 2020 and his Senate run was 2018? No, because he went into the spotlight. Postal Service position. How long ago was it, Flash? It wasn't that long ago. I just saw it, not the other. Not. I'm really tired, guys. I was up late last night. I knew it was just the other day. I don't feel like I'm on my game tonight. I was up late last night, and then the power went out at my apartment at like 8 o'clock this morning, and that woke me up. And I'm like, huh? Because, like, there's shit going on. I might have even had a podcast playing. But it woke me up, and then, like, I really didn't get back to sleep. Because the whole time I was like, did I not pay the bill? Did they cut it off? Or is this the power just being out for some stupid reason? And I'm like, no, I fucking paid it. I zeroed it out just a couple of weeks ago. It couldn't be that, like, and I'm like, no. So I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, can I see other people? And there's no other Wi-Fi's. So I'm like, it has to be everybody else too. It has to be the power's just out. I didn't, because like I was like, do I need to get up and fucking pay it? Because I'm stupid. I forget to pay it and shit a lot. It was out for like 3 fucking hours. So it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock or so. And Raven, good evening. We had a sub party yesterday. They totally did a hype train. Everybody got a sub. But like it's like 10:30. The power's been out 2.5 hours. It's 11 o'clock, 3 hours, something like that. I'm on my phone, and my phone is like 20%, 15% or something. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to put it up because I got no power to charge it, and I have a meeting at noon. And if the power doesn't come back out, I'm gonna have to use the phone to do the meeting. So I get up and I'm like, I can't make coffee. I'll take a shower. I get in the shower, and like it is like the moment I get inside the shower, like I hear something, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? It sounds like something's like fucking like a car is behind me or something. I reach up, and like the vent's right above me. I'm like, oh, we've got air conditioning again. The power must have come back on. So I take a shower, get out, fix my coffee. I sit down at my computer. It's like 11:45 or something like that. I'm getting ready for this meeting. I get completely dressed. Curiouser asked me if I want to go to Gatlinburg with her, the Smoky Mountains, and I'm like, I can't. I got a meeting, or I probably would, because I'm just like that. And then, God damn it, Smokey. So I'm all dressed and everything. I'm ready for the meeting. I click on the link. I get into the meeting. I've got like my headphones on and shit. I'm listening to music because I just always, do my shit until everybody comes into the meeting. And it's like 5 after and nobody's in the fucking meeting. I'm like, ugh. Did I get the wrong time? I go back and look at it. No, I got the right time. I've got the wrong day. It's tomorrow. It had been changed. I swear. It said it had been changed. Was it Russian time zone? That's what I needed to do. Well, no, because if it's Google, it tells me my time zone, right? Because it's a Google Calendar thing. Mandela's meeting. So then I'm like, well, shit, I would have gone to Gatlinburg. And then Curiouser messaged me like, well, I didn't go. And I'm like, well, I didn't have a meeting. And now I've got 2 meetings tomorrow. And that pisses me off. I don't like that is my least favorite part of my job. I do not like fucking Zoom meetings with people. And there's some clients that like they want to fucking tell me their live story on a Zoom call all the fucking time. I'm so tired of it. That's why I just want to YouTube. I don't have to deal with that shit. Well, anyway, I got sidetracked. My good clients, like I got the meeting I was prepared for today and that I got to do tomorrow. She's fucking amazing. And like if it's a 30-minute fucking call, she'll like bill me an hour. You be sure to bill me a full hour. I was late with something the other day with her, and I was like, you don't owe me anything for this. And she's like, don't you dare, I'm still going to pay you. She's amazing. So I love working for her. And then your boss called at 3 p.m. Oh, shit. Mox, you're exactly right. Bashir should go for McConnell's seat. I can't imagine that McConnell runs again. But hasn't he filed the paperwork or some shit? I think he has. And that may absolutely be why they didn't tap him to be the vice president. And also that Tim Walz was a really good choice. Let's do a little weather-related news here. Hurricane Francis making landfall
into the most populated eastern eye wall and then the entire eye. There could not be probably a worse.
Sorry about that. Like, seriously, I can't take Smokey clawing at my leg all the time. And he does it all day. I just like, if I am sitting here, he like gets up in my lap constantly and claws my knee. Sorry. First world problems too. This is completely off. You guys get me off topic here. But Pope Francis, like I saw that motherfucker. First of all, like he was meeting with some kids in like New Zealand, and I was like, Catholics should be kept far fucking away from kids. But he ain't looking good. Is that motherfucker getting ready to croak? Is he having some major health issues? Because he did not look good at all. He looked like he's already dead. A giant eye hole? Near Texas? Give me that eye, pussy. Is there going to be fruit punch and pie? You gotta have punch and pie. That Trump eats pussy. Do you think Trump has ever satisfied a woman? I bet he finds it nasty. I bet he can't, like, fucking a real man is like in love with that pussy. Goes down, makes out with it. Like fucking tongue fucks that shit. That's what a real man does. You want you all up and down, all in that asshole. You everywhere. You fingers, tongue, mouth, lips. You be like on that clit and stuff. God damn it.
You live in sexual anarchy.
Freaking after dark. You got a little blue in here. I'm sorry, I'm horrible. But I've never set acres of forest land on fire, so I'm not that horrible, right? This motherfucker's been arrested. 34,000 acre fire. The land fire in California, we have an arson suspect.
The Sheriff's Department has arrested a man accused of starting the line fire. The fast-moving fire has consumed more than 35,000 acres. Evacuations remain in effect. KTLA 5's Lauren Lister live now in San Bernardino, where a news conference was held just a short time ago. Lauren?
Yeah, Glenn, a major update in the line fire burning in San Bernardino County. Authorities believe it was intentionally started, and they announced an arrest of this man you see here. They identify him.
He looks like a nice guy.
34 years old of Norco, booked on arson, being held on $80,000. Lieutenant Kerry Klaus with the Sheriff's Department and Chief Jed Gaines with CAL FIRE joining me now to talk a little bit more about where things stand. So first of all, Lieutenant, what led authorities to believe this was arson and lead to this arrest?
Well, first of all, our detectives from the Highland Station did a joint investigation with CAL FIRE Investigations. At the origin
Who would you take in a fight, blonde or mustache?
videos and determine who the suspect was.
I'm taking blonde.
They served a search warrant at the suspect's residence where they were able to detain the suspect. They also located evidence inside the suspect's residence and his vehicle that we have pictured behind you that corroborated the arrest of the suspect. So last night he was booked at West Valley Detention Center for arson. And I will tell you, just to give you an update, they were able to obtain a bail enhancement and he is now in.
Excellent mustache.
No bail, so that is even an update since we first got this news. Thank you for talking with us. Now, Chief Gaines, let's talk a little bit more about this fire. So it's burned more than 34,000 acres, broke out last Thursday. There are evacuations in place in parts of Highland and Big Bear and also Running Springs. 14% contained, though, so there has been some progress made. What is the threat that remains?
Jesus would not let me do that.
Springs and Big Bear, and then the Highway 38 corridor out of Yucaipa. We're working on.
What is wrong with that person? Okay. Have you ever seen the meme where like the woman is like, "Do you have protection?" And I think it's like a cyanide and happiness. He's like, "Of course." He like sits a little like Jesus statue over on the nightstand. For some reason, that made me think of that. The poop hole loophole. Well, if you're gonna use the poop hole loophole, I do have some advice for you.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
Anyway, an arson suspect was arrested.
The fire made a big push yesterday afternoon and evening into the community of Running Springs, so firefighters were engaged in a firefight there late into the night last night with the winds and low humidity.
It's what they do. It's in the name.
And also, the fire is well established in the Santa Ana River drainage, which is pushed into Bear Creek, and that's what's threatening the community of Big Bear. Yesterday afternoon, we put the southwest side of Big Bear.
Oh my! Nathan said, "Who I'd rather fight." Okay, pick that one as well. Who would you rather fight? I'd still take the blonde. I never said I'd fight back. Mustache though, he wasn't a bad looking guy either. I don't know.
Into an evacuation order, and we've got crews up in there that are prepping and building lines with bulldozers and everything else we're doing to try to save.
The question I asked was who would win in a fight between the two of them.
Away from Big Bear, what are the biggest challenges for firefighters today?
Some of the biggest challenges we have is just this terrain out here. It's very steep, very rocky, very tough terrain. We have to be very careful where we put firefighters. And
Raven, I love this. I love that there are all these different interpretations. I didn't even think about that. Raven thought I was asking who would you want your tag team partner to be. Also, still blonde for me. This is awesome. Who keeps getting auto-modded? What happened? I think it's just blonde in all
Thank you
categories.
so much for talking with us. 14% contained. Those evacuations still in place. They did confirm one structure has been destroyed. They are still investigating, though, if there is further damage. I do want to show the truck that the lieutenant mentioned that they associate with the suspect. And they do still want more information because they have some suspicion that there could possibly be links to other fires.
Such a nice truck.
If there's anything, they want to call 1-800-78-CRIME. For now, that is the very latest. We'll continue following this. We're going to go head out to the line fire.
Ask where he was at on January 6th as well. He looks like that kind of dude. The mom of the school shooter from Georgia is speaking out. Yeah, we watched this body cam video the other day where we actually got a glimpse into the lives of the shooter. This is Colt Gray. This guy was Colin Gray or something like that.
The mother of accused school shooter Colt Gray is making a moving apology to the victims. I am so sorry from the bottom of my heart, Marcy Gray says in an open letter. She says if she could take the place of the 2 school kids killed in the shooting in Georgia last week, I would, without a second thought. My heart breaks for the 2 teachers who gave their lives while in the service of teaching and protecting our children. She also insists, my son Colt is not a monster. He is my oldest baby. He is quiet, thoughtful, caring, funny, and extremely intelligent. Marcy Gray also confirms in her first interview since the shooting spree that she called a school counselor on the morning of the tragedy after her 14-year-old son texted, "I'm sorry, Mom." She spoke to ABC News.
The counselor said, well, I wanted to let you know that earlier this morning, one of Colt's teachers had sent me an email that said Colt had been making references to school shootings.
30 minutes later, her son is accused of opening fire. Colt Gray lived with his father, Colin Gray, who has also been charged in the slayings at Appalachia High School outside Atlanta. In her letter of apology, the mother of 3 says, I feel all of your pain and devastation. I grieve and cry with you.
14-year-old Colt Gray is charged with 4 counts of felony murder. His father is charged with involuntary manslaughter and murder for allegedly providing the weapon. Neither have entered a plea.
Grandfather's probably Coleman. Llama, good evening. Spronk, my friend, good evening. Raven, I totally used to watch Moral World 13, 14 years ago. Yes, Flash. Three people in California have been trapped because of a bridge fire. A massive bridge fire near Mount Baldy.
Private Air 7 over the bridge fire. We just got some information moments ago that 3 people are trapped right there. That's right, Mount Baldy is just on the other side of Mount Baldy where the 60 is. It's kind of compressed on the satellite view. We understand one is an LA County Sheriff's deputy, and boy, there's only one way in and one way out. I'll give you the live shot and show you how much smoke there is. Sheriff's Air Rescue 5 tried to fly up in there, and they just could not do it.
Wait, that smoke?
Issue for those individuals trapped up on top of Mount Baldy or just to the west side of Mount Baldy, and they can't get any resources into them right now. Things are getting a little hotter. We can see the fire is starting to take off a little bit.
Is this from the line fire?
It's one of the big concerns. Now, the fire's consumed 48,000 acres, but right in there.
It is.
You screen that little loom up. We understand they're losing more homes in the Wrightwood area. 39 homes have been confirmed that burns at this point in time, but right down in there in Wrightwood, they're really concerned along Lone Pine Canyon Road that they're going to lose more houses. So they have quite a battle on their hands, Philip and Giovanna, and the smoke has really hindered the ability of the aircraft to get in there and do their job.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more
Mark Brown.
C7 content.
I just knew bridge fire. I would have put it with the line fire we were doing earlier. I feel like this one's probably going to be sad, not funny. I probably shouldn't do it. I feel like it's probably just going to be sad. It's going to be one of those where the headline made me made me like chuckle. And then like we're gonna watch it, and it's gonna be really sad. I don't want to do that. Like it had a headline that like I could have made a freaking news out of it. But I bet it's really sad. So we're gonna move to 9/11. Happy 9/11 if you celebrate. Slayer and other big bands who released albums on 9/11. It was definitely unfortunate, but there were some pretty big albums that were released on 9/11. September 11th, 2001 will always be known for one of the most devastating terror attacks taking place on American soil. The impact of the event informed many ways of life in the aftermath. Unfortunately for several bands, it was a pretty heavy release day for new music and a number of big, because they're releasing shit going into the fall. Yes, the fucking Joe Biden saying he was going to do 9/11 cracked me up. A number of big name artists who have been working on new offerings just happened to have new music dropping on the same day as the 9/11 attack, and their works being overshadowed as a result. In the aftermath of 9/11, radio started revising their playlists, removing songs that might be considered triggering out of concern for sensitivity to the recent events. Some acts, such as Slayer, caught some backlash due to the unfortunate tilting of their most recent album. Dream Theater, meanwhile, needed a full-on recall of their new album due to the artwork. Do you guys know about the coup? I hope it mentions the coup. If you don't know about the fucking coup. Also, amazing album you should listen to if you don't know who the coup is. As we reflect on 9/11, here are some of the acts who released new music on that day. Some were impacted by the events more than others, but as you'll see, some pretty major albums for their time unfortunately share this moment in history. POD's Youth of a Nation. Apparently they dropped the track on 9/11. Alkaline Trio, Prevent This Tragedy. Yes, it's Boots Riley, Nathan. Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven. Well, now, that's kind of ironic, isn't it? I would have told you, if you had asked me when Tears in Heaven was, I would have said it was like 99. Linkin Park's Looking for an Answer. Billie Holiday's Strange Fruit. That's, 1939 song Strange Fruit is considered by many to be an important component of the origins of the civil rights movement. Strange Fruit protests the lynchings of black Americans by comparing those killed to fruit on trees. A hugely influential song, it has since been covered by artists as diverse as Susie and the Banshees, Jeff Buckley, Nina Simone. What, did like a new release of it happen on 9/11? Testaments that evil has landed. Wait a minute, these are songs about what? Oh, that they were released on 9/11. No, I thought they meant on the actual 9/11 on September 11th, 2001. Yeah, because this was really starting to not make sense to me. Yes, Tears in Heaven was 91. Yeah, I was totally fucked up on what Loudwire was trying to say with this. It's kind of not as fun if they were, not released on the 9/11. So, Billie Holiday's Strange Fruit was released on 9/11 in 1939. Iron Maiden released Empire of the Clouds on... The Book of Souls was like 2016 or 2015. I don't know, this article isn't as good to me anymore. Jeremy was released on 9/11. That's wild. Okay, so the song titles released on 9/11 are kind of fitting, I guess. Russia's Manhattan Project was released on a 9/11. Slayer's Angel of Death. Interesting to mention the Foo Fighters. Chumbawamba is a literal communist band. If you're looking for more literal communist bands. War Pigs was released on 9/11. That's kind of interesting. God Hates Us All. This was also not released on 9/11. But it was a commercial to market a sale that was going to happen on 9/11. Warlord's favorite clip ever.
What better way to remember 9/11 than with a Twin Tower sale? Right now, you can get any size mattress for a twin price.
Full mattress?
Twin price.
Queen mattress?
Twin price.
King mattress?
Twin price. Store-wide sale all day long. We'll never forget.
That's fucking amazing.
What better way to remember 9/11?
Bravo.
Tower sale. Right now, you can get any size mattress for a twin price.
Full mattress?
Twin price.
Queen mattress?
Twin price.
King mattress?
Twin price. Store-wide sale all day long. We'll never forget.
10 out of 10. No notes. That apparently caused a nationwide outrage about 8 years ago. So around 2016.
Right now, you can get any size mattress for a twin price.
Full mattress?
Twin price.
Queen mattress?
Twin price.
King mattress?
Twin price.
I think it's amazing.
All day long. We'll never forget.
There's outrage across the nation after Miracle Mattress in San Antonio, Texas, posted this commercial on their Facebook page about a Twin Tower sale.
What better way to remember 9/11 than with a Twin Tower sale? Right.
The video, which has since been removed from the company's Facebook page, has been replaced with an apology letter by the owner of the mattress company. Mike Bonanno writes, "The video was posted to Facebook without my knowledge or approval from our corporate office in Houston. I say this unequivocally with sincere regret. The video is tasteless and an affront to the men and women who lost their lives on 9/11.
It was hilarious.
The store's manager, Charisse Bonanno, who starred in the ad, appeared on local news with a tearful apology.
All day long.
We are not hate, we are love. We're Miracle Mattress. We make miracles happen. Stupid idea that we sent out. And we apologize for our stupidity, and we really hope you forgive us."
Even with the apology, some aren't quick to forgive. The Miracle Mattress Facebook page has been flooded with comments criticizing their commercial.
A Walmart in Panama City, Florida also upset some people after a photo was posted on Twitter of their soda display stacked with Coca-Cola products to represent the Twin Towers under a banner that read, "We will never forget."
Capitalism, man.
Backlash, a spokesperson for Walmart said the display was taken down. Be sure to watch Inside Edition.
I'm glad I get to do tasteless things about 9/11. Ooh. I'm going to show you guys the opening on 9/11. Not the whole thing. We're not going to do the whole countdown, but you got to see the ending. I think I did a really good job. Hold on. Let's fast forward. We got Matt Walsh over here. The Twin Towers appearing. Got the dramatic music and everything. You gotta give me props here.
This is the Troll live with Justin Freakin.
Cracks me up. We can suck on my Twin Towers. Ah ha 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 ha. There's even a plane going. Look down at the logo. Yeah, look down at the logo down there. There's even a plane going into the tower. I'm horrible. I'm fucking horrible. Oh, that got me on a whole other thing. Media Winch, you want to jump on here and do this with me? I totally need the Media Winch for this. Are you still there? Everybody check Media Winch. Media Winch. She wanted to hop on when we were doing C-SPAN calls, and it was just like I tried to lay out for C-SPAN calls, and I was tired and I wanted to get off. But now I'm telling you to get your gorgeous ass on this stream. Oh, you're already in the disco. Oh shit. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Get feedback. Hey. Oh, me. Oh, fuck. I'm not going to be. Oh, hold on. Can I share on Discord? Can I screen share? Yeah, I can. Okay, cool. Boom. Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. All right, everybody knows this is Media Winch, right? Are you there? Did you? Okay. What do you mean, where do you find the screen share? I'm sharing my screen with you. Yes, we're doing 90s commercials that didn't age well.
Oh, I love old commercials. There's a whole ass Twitch channel for retro commercials.
Oh, are you hearing audio?
Yes.
Don't worry, I'm making you a cup of the smooth stuff. Thur.
I need a snack. Jello.
Clearly, we know why this one didn't age well.
Yeah.
Now you can have pudding one cup at a time.
Hopefully that poor little girl did, though.
If you can stir, you can snack.
That's what she said.
Life. Read Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, we know why this didn't age well.
That aged fucking, I don't know.
Holy shit. Oh, See, 9/11, 9/11. That's why this is happening. But we were talking about. Didn't I tell you like the commercial? I described this commercial to you on stream the other night. I was like, did you have those weird commercials in like the late 80s?
Understand life. Read Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard, the owner's manual for the human mind.
Yep.
$5.95. It's a great investment in yourself.
B. Dalton, I bought hella books from B. Dalton.
Imagine a world where you could do anything.
In a world where you can do anything.
Ways of doing business behind.
You too can jump off a building while it's on fire.
You can jump to your death.
That did not age well.
Nope.
So there's no limit to what you can do.
That's no bueno.
AT&T.
Oh, AT&T. That's terrible.
We put out a few fires at work.
Who'd this do rape?
Fire.
Challenge of getting some supplies to our troops. We built bridges, schools all over the world. But the biggest thing, serving our troops good old American food. So they feel just a little closer to home.
Oh, is this Halliburton?
Oh, where's the Enron commercial? Come on.
Proud to serve our troops.
You've got this huge customer.
Oh, wow.
They don't even know when they receive the shipment. Whose problem is this? Yours. That's why you ship UPS, because only UPS captures signatures electronically. Then you can use UPS online tracking software to see your customer's actual signature. So when they say, "We never got it," you can say not only did you get it, but you don't dot your UPS Online. Are you connected yet?
Mr. Fogel, no denying your body's changed.
Mr. Fogel.
Yes. Sir, this committee must know that you ingest anything that helped create this change in your physique.
Yes. Go on. Usually a 6-inch turkey breast sub for lunch and a foot-long veggie delight for dinner.
You get those over the counter?
Yes, at a Subway restaurant.
I made the best salad for lunch.
We're going to need more evidence.
What was in it?
I got the medley tomatoes, so the one that's got the red ones and the orange ones and yellow ones and green ones all mixed together. I love the medley tomato, tiny ones. Oh, Handmaid's Tale. Yep.
Wait, what?
Still practiced today in
And
the home of a
cucumbers, mozzarella, fresh mozzarella.
A Raytheon company.
Raytheon, you too can get the most accurate knife missile.
Raytheon bringing on the Handmaid's Tale.
All about Raytheon's knife missile.
Result has been a disappointing performance.
Is he having a Rudy Giuliani moment?
Welcome, analysts. This was a challenging fiscal year for the company.
You know how we love a hot mic in the bathroom.
Weather.
$6.99. Nice. What was that mother? The Jinx? Is that the dude that like?
Oh, that is one of the best hot mic moments on fucking earth. The Jinx it was a fantastic series. Did you watch it?
Yeah. Enron. It was an Enron commercial.
Called it.
Ask why, Enron.
Oh, it's John Hurt.
Clearly better than asserts.
Oh, I thought it was George from Seinfeld.
No, it wasn't.
1.5 calories.
Never mind. I thought that was John Hurt's not.
Just as well as that does.
Oh, yeah? Oh. Well, let's see.
That's sexual assault.
That's a little assaulty.
Right. I am convinced.
Tic Tac.
I'm gone. I'm history for now.
The incredible 1.5 calorie breath mint.
That was sexual assault.
That was sexual assault in the workplace.
Oh, were they co-workers?
I'm in New York.
I got co-worker vibe.
I'm Batman. Sit down. You don't understand. I'm Batman. I do.
Not going anywhere for a while? Grab a Snickers.
Hello, good citizen. My name is Batman. You could be my assistant.
Raven, are you a Behind the Bastards fan?
Batman?
Why would this not age well? What did I not catch?
I don't know, but Steve Irwin.
No worries, mate.
Oh, CTE is funny. Okay.
The anti-venom sent from America via FedEx. In my line of work, if you're not absolutely sure, you're absolutely dead. Oh, crikey. It appears we've used a different courier who hasn't arrived yet. It's okay because...
Oh, wow.
Well, he didn't die by a snake bite, to be fair.
Radio. Looks like you're having a lot of trouble with your caravan.
Oh, see, it weighs a ton.
Let me show you this Ford Freestar.
Sure.
I think on a daily basis, you're going to find this a lot easier to live with. Come check this out.
Who'd this guy rape?
One hand.
Okay, I'm depressed. I just bought that caravan.
I understand. Here's someone who helped me when I was really depressed.
Therapist?
No, actually a Ford dealer. Come on, I'll help you with that seat.
The all-new Ford Freestar.
Making light of therapy?
Look again.
I don't know how you do it.
Oh, this didn't age well at all.
Really impressive deals. But this thing you've pulled off, it's amazing. A big and tasty for just $1? How do you do it? What's your secret?
Got a buck? You're in luck. Because you can get a delicious beefy big and tasty.
Look, I don't listen to Robert anymore because, like, he doesn't throw the machete across the room enough for me.
Oh.
He used to do that a lot more in the early days of the podcast, and, like, now... What is a behind the bastards without a good machete throwing?
He doesn't throw bagels anymore either.
But he had that bag. I was assuming that bag of bagels was moldy because like it was the same bag of bagels, right, for months.
Bagels last a really long time.
Fair enough, that's true.
But it wasn't. But I mean, they changed it up. It was bagels. It was donuts. They changed it up. But I'm.
He loves motherfucking Doritos. He's a great follow on Twitter, or he used to be. I don't get his shit anymore. He might not be posting there as much.
No, I do. I follow him on there. I'm catching up on. I'm a couple years behind, so I'm trying to catch up. I got all caught up on Howard. Now I can do about. I don't know.
Hey,
an 8-hour day, and they're an hour long, so like 6-7 episodes a day I can bust through.
Earlier in the show, we discovered a new podcast you might be interested in.
What's that?
It's the NSA. They're doing a podcast.
Oh, God, I don't want to.
Like, just straight up, they're not even being subversive about it anymore. They're just straight up doing their own podcast to put people on the take. Yeah, like, okay, so here's the thing. This was a CBS News headline. New details on the hunt for Osama bin Laden released by National Security. That's all I saw. And I'm like, oh my God, like, we didn't actually kill him. The manhunt's back on.
Oh, no.
Like, oh shit, the manhunt's back on. Let's get going. But no, apparently it was just a bait headline for a podcast about the the NSA has their own podcast.
What a bunch of assholes.
Oh, back to what was it? What was this? A McDonald's commercial?
Yeah.
Find this a lot easier to live with.
Trump eating Big Macs?
No, big and tasty or whatever.
I just bought that caravan.
Did you ever have a Big and Tasty?
Me when I was really depressed.
Probably.
No, actually a Ford.
Oh, you don't remember what it was like?
Come on, I'll help you with that seat.
The all-new Ford.
I don't either.
If you haven't looked at Ford,
Do you want to have a Big and Tasty?
I don't know
That's
how
what
you
she
do it.
said.
I put together some really impressive deals. But this thing you've pulled off, it's amazing. A big and tasty for just $1?
No, the one that used to be separated was like the late 80s, wasn't it? And it came like in a separate, like, it had like a real styrofoam container thing. And it had like the...
Screenshot.
It had the...
You should take that screenshot.
It had the lettuce and tomatoes separate. But like that, I want to say that was like 88, 89 or something. And it caused like a huge... like influx of styrofoam containers, and people were just like throwing it out their windows. I remember my grandmother like had me like go out because like we lived right next to a highway, and there was this big hill, and like it was almost like a culvert. Like people just throw shit in it, just fucking styrofoam all over the side of the hill. And it's also the commercial with the Indian where he cried, "I'm native."
Yeah, I remember, but like. So I grew up in the country, like the town of like 2,500 people called Cottonwood. It's like 20 miles before.
Babe, I'm from Pineville, Kentucky. I get more rural than that.
So I don't know. This place is pretty rural. So there's a there's a bunch of back roads you could take, obviously, like dirt roads and stuff that you could take to get from town to town. And my uncle, when I was a little kid, I was like between like, I don't know, like 6 and 8 years old.
Was a little winchy poo.
A little winchy poo. I would go to work with my uncle during the summer. And so, good old child labor back in the mid 80s.
Wait, why are you the medial wrench? Is it because Discord won't let you be winch?
That's correct.
Just noticed it.
After like 8 years of being the media wench, this last year they made me change it.
That's wild.
But I think if I made it 2 V's, I could get away with it, and so I'd be the media of event. But whatever.
Depressed. Good evening.
My uncle and I used to. He had like a little Chevy S10 pickup truck with no camper shell. I would ride in the back of it, back and forth from Cottonwood to Red Bluff to go work at the appliance store during the summer when I was a kid. And then he would stop off at the little mini mart, grab 2 Stroh's beers, a thing of fucking beef jerky, and then we would drive the back roads home while he drank the beers, and I'm sitting in the back of the fucking truck going on a dirt road, and then he would just throw the empty cans out the window. Whee! Every day.
Yeah. That sounds like my upbringing as well.
Every day.
See, Trump don't know about us common people. Up there in his ivory tower eating his fucking Big and Tasty.
How do you do it?
Well, Big and Tasty was only $1. See, we would get just like cheeseburgers from McDonald's, so that was like what, 59 cents, 89 cents, and he would get one for me, one for him, and then one for the dog.
And lots of your other favorites.
One for the dog.
Yeah, one for the dog.
Together, Grimace, we could own this town.
The dog's name was Pooter.
Pooter.
Huh? Why not do it once, do it right?
Why is your head in the ground?
I'm gonna watch Roundup kill these roots.
Hey, this is Spike's area.
Is that because Roundup will give you like cancer?
Down into natural materials.
I guess.
Roundup kills the roots. What's not coming back, Bob?
The weed?
You betcha, Bob. Come on down and take a peek.
What is coming back is your testicle cancer.
What's coming back? What's not coming back? Your prostate. Fucking Neil Armstrong. Not Neil Armstrong. What's this guy's name? Fucking Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, speaking of balls.
Yeah. And taking injections and shit because he got busted for steroids.
Oh, yeah, that's wild.
I'm on my bike, busting my ass 6 hours a day. What are you on?
I mean, to be fair, he also busted his ass. He just also took performance enhancing drugs.
MVP things, we're gonna score a jillion points or more. Because we're together now. And you know what we're hungry for? I'm hungry for a McDonald's triple cheeseburger. Extra value meal. Super size. Just 39 cents more for more drink and more fries. And the Dream Team 2 cup when you supersize. Supersize any extra value.
Remember promo cups? Remember when Taco Bell did the Batman promo cups when the first Batman came out?
Why did this one not age well?
Because of the supersizing, I guess.
Oh, that was weak.
39 cents more for more drink and more fries. And the Dream Team 2.
Yeah, I wish I still had my little Batman Forever mug that had like the Riddler on it.
Yeah, that was one I had too.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Nope. That was all?
Vapor.
Oh, you want me to put on the Vaporwave commercial compilation? We'll do a little bit. We're not doing this whole 20 minutes.
Oh my god, look at this shit.
I'm amazed there was this much production value in a commercial back then.
Everything looks like a fucking episode of Miami Vice. Look at the fucking flamingos. I love it.
Sanyo.
Sanyo. Fuck yeah. Oh, I hope.
Probably not even in business anymore.
To the new Oldsmobile Silhouette. Its looks are
Who's Julie Nimoy?
is perfect for the enterprise.
Leonard Nimoy's daughter.
Wife?
The
Bro.
seats
Daughter.
easily. There's a place for everything. Compared to other forms of space travel, Silhouette is the logical choice,
The
right?
press, you don't even know how to spell Mel.
Silhouette. Travel in space and
Did you ever consider the possibility that you're just dumb?
Oh, I wasn't even
into a
paying
television
attention to
showroom,
chat. Are
and
there
someone will
dumbs in the
probably
chat?
try to sell you a set with a foreign name on it.
Oh, there's a Trump supporter, yeah.
Ask to see yours.
He'd be an FREAKIN.
Combine digital video
Oh, it's
and
hard
audio.
to watch
With
your
the
con man
performance to
get
back it up.
destroyed by a
Picture
TV.
in
Come
picture,
on.
with triple flashback. Ask for a single remote. They can learn to run everything.
We knew they were going to pre-cope, but now they're having some post-cope
true
before their
innovation in
next
television,
pre-cope
quality
session.
never looked.
Well, okay, when we did the stream last night, we watched the debate. Aquanet.
For flair and fashion.
Oh my
to
god,
hold
I
the
gotta send you a
stunning
pictures
styles
of my
today.
mom back in the day.
You can send me all the pictures of your mom.
You do.
that was
Nobody
interesting. Oh my god, this is a Robert Palmer video.
Nobody but image.
Might as well face it, you're addicted to love.
That's not even the good song. Didn't mean to turn you on is much better.
I was never a Robert Palmer fan. I don't know any of his other music.
Oh,
He had like 3 videos that were all like those models, though, didn't he?
yeah. But
It was like a trilogy.
no. Listen, didn't mean to turn you on is fucking fantastic.
Look at Cher.
Don't you just hate the holidays?
No, not really.
Partying and you feel like a real blimp. Even your ankles got fat. It's
Uh.
enough to make you want to give up. But that's when you gotta get tough.
And she's like 60 there, isn't she?
No.
If you join now, Holiday Health Club will toughen you up at last year's rates.
She's like 102 now.
Oh.
Super Soft Set 2 is something new. Spray it on wet hair, and your style is set there.
Set 2.
That was ugly.
Wow.
And she is still fine. Indeed, Raven.
Super Soft Set 2.
That is ugly hair. You don't look good.
Hair.
Dry
It
hair,
doesn't matter.
and your
It's
style
80s
will
hair.
stay
The,
70, I was very close.
the taller the hair, the closer to God. You don't understand.
If the message is sent, no word is spoken.
I know about God now.
It's Vandron by Jovan, the first pheromone-based fragrances signed.
Pheromone based?
Andron cologne for men transmits powerful bands of fragrance energy. Andron cologne for women is softly and magnetically compelling.
Adrenochrome for women.
Jovan
Uh-huh.
of fragrance.
By Jovan. Is that even still a thing?
Probably.
Sounds good.
Now I'm gonna get Gloria Stefan fucking copyright. I felt like this song was the 90s though. No, that was Feel the Beat, wasn't it?
Which one?
The Gloria Stefan song.
Oh, dude, she's got hella hits.
She got hella hits.
She got hella hits.
BO5 hot oil penetrates and conditions your
Hellman's Mayo Cologne ad? I like Hellman's, I wouldn't even go for that.
Bring on the Hellmans.
Oh my god. I don't even like. Why am I go out of my way to not watch commercials?
And shrimp.
And you've got me watching commercials on my own stream. You evil, evil wench.
I'm an IR influencer.
I'm only doing it to spend time with you.
Well, watch whatever you want. I'll hang out. I ain't going nowhere. What you want?
I'm gonna get off here and eat. I'm hungry.
You're talented. You could do one with each hand.
Do what with each hand?
You said get off and eat.
Oh, okay. I didn't even hear myself. And I want to play some video games. I've had late nights, like every night.
fabulous Barbie tropical pool.
Arena is being fucking mean to me, man.
That patio. Ooh, what? What is going on? I don't know what's going on here.
It's a soap commercial.
It's just,
Olive.
that's not even a thing anymore, is it? A lot of these are defunct. Like Jovan. Jovan is not a thing anymore, is it?
I don't know. It might be at like the dollar store.
Menon is not a thing anymore, right?
Menon is a company. It's not a product.
By Menon, but it's not a thing anymore. But it used to be on commercials all the time.
Definitely a thing. No, it was Gillette commercials by Menon or Old Spice or all this.
What even the fuck is a tab?
It's like a cola soda.
A cola soda.
Let's taste new.
They don't make it anymore, do they?
They might. Oh no, maybe not. I don't know. I could swear I've seen them, but it's like one of those like, not the original one, just made like a retro thing.
Dippity doo. What even is this?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time figuring this one out. OP? What is OP?
You down with OPP?
Yeah, you know me. Ocean Pacific.
What the fuck is that?
Closed. It's closed.
Oh.
It's the ultimate with power.
It was like a jeans commercial.
Yeah, basically.
Hold hair long, hold hair strong with bold hold.
Bold hold.
Camaro. Hot new Camaro.
I feel like the Firebird was always superior to the Camaro.
You gotta remember, I lived in Eastern Kentucky, and I don't know what brands of clothes are. We didn't have all the goods and services being brought into our small little mountain town.
It's here. Siemens' most exciting Washington's first.
Seaman.
Right now at all.
Siemens first.
Great Washington
Furniture.
values in every Siemens.
Siemens furniture.
Wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
Siemens.
Fuel injected Z28. Camaro smooth, sassy, ultra sleek.
I have like Dolo clips that kind of go with that too.
Maybe that's what we need, a place to put it.
Chevy Camaro, so new, it'll have the competition chasing.
You're looking for a place to put it.
Siemens' most exciting Washington's birthday sale ever. Right now at
Siemens first.
Discover great Washington
in the Camaro.
In every Siemens department, including
that won't fit in a Camaro.
Packages, dining sets, bedding, wall units, and more. For exceptional holiday specials,
I'm sure there's been many
in your Sunday paper.
Much Siemens
Washington's birthday sale
excreted in a Camaro.
Many.
Seek Siemens first. All right, that's that. I can't top that. Oh fuck! I hold on. There we go. Media winch still on here. I can't top that. That one. That's what we're gonna end on. You want to stay for cat video? I don't even know. Oh, it is a cat video. It is indeed a cat video. Okay. You get cat video. It is it's not a cuddly kitty though.
Could be.
Oh, it could be, she says.
No.
I don't think he's cuddly. Or she?
Just feeling spicy, that's all.
I think they're friends.
They like boiling up.
I mean, it's just a big cat.
It's not using any claws. That's the thing.
Socks does that to me all the time.
It's just
exactly like that. Socks did it this morning, pawing at me like that.
Oh my god. Fucking Finn is an asshole.
You go and pet him? Oh. He's not gonna let you. He ain't in the mood to be petted.
No.
Does he have a mustache?
The
kitty.
Guy trying to pet
no, the kitty. The kitty.
I know. I like a handlebar mustache.
Is it wrong of me to want to see the cat maul him?
Really?
You wouldn't want to see it?
No, the cat looks to be in a cage, and maybe that's why the cat's pissed off. There isn't a whole lot.
That's what I'm saying. The cat's in a cage, so he can maul the dude.
Yeah.
Free the kitty. Oh, I'm sorry, Jezebel.
No.
My heart goes out to you.
No.
You had to put it down before the Haitian immigrants ate it. Alright, if you are watching on Twitch. What?
I was like, Kuda, if you're talking about the 96 Camaro, the ones that look like a wedge, those were fucking weird.
Do you want to do my sign off?
No, I don't even know what it was. The light one up, tip one back. Play the song.
Well, you gotta have the. If you're watching on Twitch, you're heading over to.
On Twitch, you're gonna go fucking raid Echoplex Media, because that's what we do.
It's exactly what we do. All right, now you do the go ahead, light one up,
tip one back.
You got to do it with feeling.
Say it with your chest.
Exactly. You're letting everybody down.
Well, hold on. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this evening. Now go ahead and light one up and tip one back. It's all right to get high before you hit the sack. Thanks for watching Justin Freakin', and we'll see you tomorrow.
The Troll Patrol live. Good night, Winchy Boo.
Good night, Justin.